and your YouTube will be very easy. Okay, Rosario, do you have the doc up?
Let me see. I'll hit it
Can
again.
access. He just
Yep, got the access.
great. Okay, so please bring that document up.
Mm-hmm.
Might have time for a sandwich during all this. I'm kidding, Jackie. I'm all good. I'm not gonna actually eat a sandwich right now. Thank you though. I just wet the hair and I kind of fucked it up, but whatever. All right.
Look great.
Thank you so much. I have to step it up to be in your company. Okay, so you have it there in a place. Well, that's really not acceptable.
Ben, I worry you're not going to have time to pee. I'm panicking.
That's fine. I'm not going to pee. I'll save till after the monologue and then we cut to our first video.
Okay.
So, Jay, you're going to cue us, right?
Yeah.
Why am I not hearing you in my ear, Jay?
So, according to the current run of show, we're going to start the run of video in a minute. And you guys are going to start. It looks like the first thing on the docket is.
No, we're not rolling late. We should be good, I think, right? We're starting on time, aren't we?
Yeah, we should. I'm going to.
Wait. Hold on, just 1 second on the video. Start. Rosario, one last thought is there will be live audience. Audience, can we hear you real quick?
Oh, they're all in the separate breakout room, Ben.
Bring them in right now. This is our show is starting. We need the audience back.
Okay, all right.
Thank you. It's like a white cream of my bathroom. What? My bathroom. The big one, Jackie. What's that, Chad? I know that should be loaded into your thing, I think. I don't believe. Got it. But you have the video, correct? Okay, awesome. Okay.
All right.
No, we need the audience in the breakout. We need the audience.
We need the audience back. Is the audience back, guys?
Hello.
Hear you.
Hey, man.
Clap it up real quick. Let's hear the audience clap it up. Do we need? Okay, let's roll the top of show video. Let's do this thing.
Live from around the country, it's the 2020 Telethon for America, presented by Represent Us, with appearances from Alicia Keys, America Ferrara, Deborah Messing, Alyssa Milano, Keenan Thompson, Josh Gad, Sarah Silverman, Sophia Bush, Ed Helms, Lucy Phillips, Chelsea Handler, Chris Jericho, Craig Robinson, Dr. Phil, Sasha Baron Cohen, Eva Longoria, Fortune Feimster, Joshua Jackson, Mike Birbiglia, Nikki Glazer, Doug Stanhope, Jackie Tone, Jade Cotta-Preta, Aisha Tyler, Ida Rodriguez, Steve Hofstetter, Tone Bell, Bob Odenkirk, Brad Williams, Camilla Marone, Steve Kerr, the Sklar Brothers, Daryl Hammond, Ty Burrell, Ray Romano, and many more. Now please welcome your hosts for the evening, Rosario Dawson and Ben Glebe.
Hello, everybody.
Welcome to the Telethon, the 2020 Telethon for America, powered by Represent Us. I am Rosario Dawson.
And I am Ben Glebe, and together we are Ben Rosa.
No, we're not.
Here we are on election eve, a very huge day for our country, giving you one more opportunity this year for celebrities to get it wrong.
Oh, but hopefully when it comes to voting tomorrow, we will all get it right.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yes.
but we can try, and we should, which is also why we are here, to bring you some critical information that may come in handy tomorrow when you are voting. Election Day, November 3rd. We are in the home stretch of 2020, you guys.
Yeah. Woo!
Already, which of course means there's only 9 years left in this year.
Just 9 more years. Okay, so this year has been filled with surprises, to say the least. 2020 is undefeated, as Black Twitter would say.
I'm comfortable responding to that, to be honest with you.
Good call.
This year has been very strange. A lot of realities we've had to deal with: a global pandemic, social uprisings, killer insects, relentless fires.
And super downer monologues.
I'm going to spin it positive. I was going to say that all of these things have shown us that one thing is for certain.
Let me guess, that we're stronger together.
We just covered that point, so fair enough.
But we've heard a lot of words during the election, like voter suppression,
Court packing.
packing,
Yep, handmaids.
gerrymandering. Well, no, that's a TV show.
Oh, Handmaid's Tale.
Yeah,
But it's honestly, it's not that far from our reality these days.
that is fair, sadly. And I'm impressed that you actually had a point there.
Let's tell all of you how tonight's going to go down.
Well, tonight we hope to reach our goal of raising a whopping $0. We can do it.
We can do it.
Telethon for America is the only telethon in the world with the goal of raising no money at all.
Instead, what we're going to do is raise awareness of the important issues that are on the line and on the ballot tomorrow.
So if any of you have any desire to make change in this country, there literally could not be a quicker opportunity to do that, because you can do it first thing tomorrow morning, or the way I will be doing it, when I wake up first thing tomorrow afternoon.
Well, at least you're going to do it. So I'm going to give you that. That's good. You know, procrastinate, but don't procrastinate too long. We want to get you on that line in time. Did you know that around 100 million American citizens who are eligible to vote will not vote in the election tomorrow, potentially? I mean, how crazy is that? That's what happened in 2016. It could happen again.
That is true. That's the projection. So I want you all to know today, we both want you to know that it does not have to be that way. In the 2018 Telethon for America, our stated goal was to help create historic voter turnout in the midterms, and that goal was achieved. No! Before the monologue, to be honest with you, I'm trying to fix it constantly, but we're going to do it again. This time, our goal with the telethon and the help of all of you watching is to create the greatest turnout in American history.
We need that. Year anniversary of the 19th Amendment. I think us women can make that happen, right? So anyway, for all of you, for the next 2 hours, we will be taking pledges from you, the viewer, to promise to go vote tomorrow if you haven't already, and to form a voting squad to bring along to the polls with you.
Absolutely. You're probably thinking, what's in it for me? I'll tell you. By taking the pledge at telethonforamerica.com, you will have the opportunity to have a video visit with one of our many celebrities here tonight from TV, like Rosario Dawson.
Yeah.
It'll make you never want to talk to a celebrity again. Movie, comedy, music, and more. All you have to do is go right now or anytime during the show to telethonforamerica.com. Make your pledge to vote or complete the form to bring your friends. It's right there at the bottom of the homepage.
And a few hundred lucky viewers will receive an email with a link to have a live one-on-one video chat with one of the celebrities we have here tonight in our celebrity video bank.
Does that sound?
I get excited when Alicia Keys calls me to this day, so I have a feeling it might be exciting to y'all. I don't know, maybe.
I always send Alicia Keys to voicemail. That's the way I do it. We'll also, in addition to that, be bringing one very lucky viewer to join all of us live on air at the end of the show. And stay tuned, because in addition to that, we have a very, very special message from the host of Fox's Fox's newest celebrity competition series, The Masked Dancer, Craig Robinson. Message you'd like to deliver to us, and Rosario will be doing more strange poses that make you think Hollywood is as odd that as you've come to learn.
It's called interpretive dance.
Love it. I love your interpretive dance so much. Let's first, though, before we get any further, are you guys ready to check in with our celebrity video bank? Celebrity video bank, please join us. Are you all here with us? I love it.
Hi.
We-
Hi, Rosario. Hi.
Got Terrence J, Brad Williams, Cody Rhodes.
Hey!
How's everything going?
Oh, so good, especially here, love.
I'm so happy to see you. You guys are doing a great job. I watched the little bit while I was going to the bathroom in between the gigs.
I hope everything came out all right.
It's the intro for me. The intro, that little walk on the camera was incredible. It was incredible.
Thank you.
Incredible.
Practice.
Practice that 30 seconds before air, so thank you, Terrence. We've got Doug Stanhope with us with a new hair. Press your spacebar to talk.
Wow, look at that hair.
Doug, you're on mute. You're on mute. Press the spacebar to talk. Hold down your spacebar. Press it down. Hold it down like a walkie-talkie.
I believe in you.
There you go, Doug.
Thank you. Yeah, sorry. I'm just wondering how many people are going to say, why am I talking to you? I thought I was going to get a celebrity.
That's the reality that will happen tonight. I'm so sorry. We've got John DiMaggio here, the voice of Bender from Futurama, everybody.
Hi, everybody. Hey. Yeah. You know who can bite my shiny metal ass, baby.
How are you, Ricky?
I am great. It's so nice to see all of you. I'm pumped. I'm a little anxious, but let's do this thing, you guys.
Woo! So much fun. Yeah. A little later, Deborah Messing is with us. Hello, Deborah. How are you? Great.
Hi, guys. Hi, guys. Took me a second.
Thank you.
I'm bringing the
All of my favorite women, and Mike.
Hey.
Hey,
We are being joined by Monica Lewinsky in the house.
another one of my favorite women.
Hello, Josh. We've got Jackson, both Joshes. Say hello to everybody.
All the Joshes.
We've got Nikki Glazer joining us, everybody. Hello, Nikki.
Hey, thank you for having me. I'm at my parents' house in St. Louis where I've lived for 7 months.
He's on it. I just told for Big's joke not knowing he's here.
Stanhope did steal my joke, Doug. I was watching you do that. I was like, fuck, that's my opener. That's my fucking opener.
I was going to say, that's actually for Big's joke. I just put it in the chat.
We have Sophia Bush here with us, my dear friend, one of my favorite ladies. Hello, Sophia.
Google, you know. Hi.
Bye.
Sophia, do you mind introducing us to your marine biologist friend that you brought along?
You guys, I'm so excited to be here with so many incredible human beings, including my friend Ayanna Elizabeth Johnson, who is a marine biologist. She is a climate expert. She has given us the sign off on the Biden-Harris climate plan. She's amazing and much smarter than me and probably everyone.
Hi, Ayanna. Love you so much.
And we also have with us Steve Hofstetter. We've got Baron Vaughn from Grace and Frankie on Netflix. And also very with us here. If there are any questions about civics, how the election works, how our government works, we have Richard Green, the civics dean, here with us. This man is an expert on all. And I think I said Brad Williams. Williams here as well. So we have an amazing Daryl Hammond. Holy shit!
Hello, everybody. Basically, if I'm here, that means one thing about this telethon, and that's Peter Dinklage was busy. That's right.
Fucking Brad, dude.
Very excited to be here.
Thank you for being here, Brad.
Of course.
Daryl, how are you, buddy?
Is that me?
Yes, sir.
I'm pretty good. I'm standing by. I hope I can contribute in some way. It seems like an awesome night.
Well, so far you're a very high energy start. We appreciate the
Enthusiasm.
He's high.
You're all tired, Daryl. It's okay.
I love it. It's going to be quite a night. Are you guys excited to talk to the lucky winners that pledge to vote at telethonforamerica.com? You already have some nice conversations?
Yes.
Yeah.
So excited.
Wait.
I love it. Thumbs up right there.
Thanks, Josh.
The walkie-talkie switch here. It's really throwing me off.
Oh,
hold it down, or you can unmute it. Whatever way you want to do. You do you, Joshua.
Josh,
Don't
you
want
have
me
a
to
new
unmute.
baby, don't you?
I do. I have a she's not brand new anymore. 6.5 months.
Is she sleeping?
She is occasionally sleeping. Yeah.
It's good you got the earbuds in so they don't hear all the raucous.
Yeah, well, when she is asleep, there's nothing on this planet that can wake her up. But, the sleep's on her schedule, not really on our schedule.
Congratulations.
I like it. She's owning it already.
Oh, yeah, she runs the house.
Yo, this is fucking crazy. You want to see who's on here?
If you wanted to show us a picture, we'd be cool.
Sophia Bush.
No. Not breaking the internet tonight.
Exactly.
We need pledges.
I would like to survive until tomorrow morning, so I'm going to say nah.
Did you ever feel throughout the course of your career that you've been in the shadow of Joshua Jackson?
Me? I feel like I've been in my shadow my whole life.
In your shadow. I was flipping.
That's funny.
Josh Gad is on mute. He has no comment on that.
Oh, no, I legitimately thought you were asking me. I was like,
this is the most chaotic Zoom I've been on since Yom Kippur with my family. And I don't know how to, like, when anyone's talking to me or when they're not. But so I keep hearing Josh and I say hi, and then the much more handsome Josh speaks.
Zoom delay. It's the Zoom delay. We all have to just, the Zoom delay. It's a very weird thing.
I just heard Liz Milano say there's a Zoom delay. I think that just came from here. This is very exciting. We are now going to go as the phone. So throughout the night, we will be putting our celebrities one-on-one in video chats with you watching the show right now, and we'll be checking in how that's going. We'll be playing clips from that later on. But right now, we're going to go to our first pre-tape segment, a very special message from a woman who made her living making fun of me on television. Chelsea Handler, everybody.
Hi, America. It's me, Chelsea Handler. I have a couple of questions for you. Do you care about equal pay for women? Do you care about passing a new Voting Rights Act? Do you care about getting money out of politics? And do you care about passing the Equality Act, which means no more discrimination based on your gender, based on your sexual identity, based on your gender identity, or based on your color of skin? Do you care about those four things?
Get to watch it?
Four things have all passed
That's nice, so
in
we
the
can
House
just
of
sit in uncomfortable
Representatives
silence
and are
with each
waiting
other.
to be
This
heard
is
on the Senate floor. There is one party
It's
that
like,
wants all
I mean,
those
not
things
Yom
to happen,
Kippur for me, but
and
it
there's
is
one
kind of
party
like a
that
family
doesn't.
dinner.
Which party are you a party to, or a party of? I'm Chelsea Handler.
Stanhope, how's Arizona, man?
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Keenan Thompson, and I am here to also lend my support for the Telethon for America. This is a very, 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 very critical time in
This
our
is my
country.
school. This is where I
think
teach a bunch of
everybody
rookies how
knows
to
by
wrestle. We
now
had to cancel
that your
practice
vote
for this, so it's
is
great.
critical, and it's your choice, and it's your right as an American citizen So
This is wild.
I think you should take
This
that
is.
right and go do what you need to do.
You mean
And
This is
vote
really
for
cool.
who
Thank
you
you
would like
everyone
to
for
lead
being
this
here.
country
It's so good to see
into a
so many
better
of your
future.
faces.
Now I know I'm a
Hi,
comedian
Rosario.
and I
Kind
do
of
lots of
pretend
funny
that I'm
things,
friends with some of
but,
you, even though I'm not.
this
I'd
is a
love to.
serious moment,
Ayana,
so I just wanted
last time I
to
think I saw you was when we went to the shark opening,
Oh,
the
the
shark
New York
exhibit
Aquarium.
opening in Brooklyn and Coney Island.
We are back. We are back, ladies and gentlemen, with the Telethon for America. Hi, Rosario. I think you were bonding with who?
I was bonding with Ayana, the amazing marine biologist. That's something I had wanted to do when I was younger. I thought I wanted to
Desire
be a
was
marine
my
biologist.
date to the opening of the new exhibit at the New York Aquarium. For
Yeah,
the
the shark exhibit in Coney Island. She took me and my daughter. It was amazing.
Oh my God, when we could go in public.
Yes. Remember those days?
I remember those days.
I think it's so weird. We can tell our kids once upon a time we shook hands and kissed and hugged strangers to say hello. Barbaric.
Some of us were always uncomfortable. Hugging was a little weird, but handshakes were cool.
Handshakes. Now we're elbows. It's all about the elbows. Now giving someone the elbow is actually a good thing. Cody.
I'm all about the COVID bow. The COVID bow is the best. COVID bow. You got to lean in with it. That's it. That's how we love each other.
I like it. Or you do it the way Steve Hofstetter does, and you just, anybody that speaks to you, you just take any heckler and tear them down so hard that they want to come near you.
Dan, I'm sorry. I felt interrupted just then.
I can do it.
That was weird. I've never said I'm sorry before.
You got it out. We've got it. It's live. We've recorded it. It's amazing. It's going to be on loop.
His new ringtone.
Our telethon is presented to you tonight by the amazing nonprofit and fiercely anti-corruption organization Represent Us. They're one of my favorite organizations in the world. They're fighting to get money out of politics, to get the corruption out of our politics, and it's because we're facing an existential crisis in the way our system is being run. And I could tell you more about it, but I'm not as eloquent as, say, Jennifer Lawrence. So let's let her say a few words about Represent Us and the problems our government
We are
is
witnessing
facing.
a total
Jennifer?
political system failure in America.
I'm sorry we're not showing you guys these videos, but
If you're anything like me, you may find yourself constantly overwhelmed by everything that's wrong with politics. And when I say politics, I'm not talking about Democrats or Republicans. I'm talking about the flaws that exist in our political system, regardless of which party is in power. And I know it's hard to talk about politics these days, but look, the government is ours. We pay for it, so it needs to work for us. And right now it doesn't, and I mean it really doesn't. So what's going on here? Is it Russian meddling in social media? Is it him? Is it her? No. Those two were the least popular presidential candidates since they began keeping track of such things. Only 4% of Americans have a great deal of confidence in Congress now. Just 4%. America is no longer even considered a full democracy. We are witnessing a total political system failure in America, which is the complete opposite of what our nation's founders had in mind. Consider this. Politicians are spending up to 70% of their time raising funds for re-election after they get into office. Why? Because in order to win a seat in the Senate in some races, you would have to raise $45,000 every single day, 365 days a year for 6 years to raise enough money to win. Now consider that only 0.05% of Americans give more than $10,000 to politics. And then you see why politicians have become completely dependent on the 0.05% of Americans, billionaires and special interest groups, who fund their campaigns.
Here's how you fix our broken elections. End gerrymandering with independent redistricting commissions.
Create ranked choice voting so third parties and independents can run and win.
Implement automatic voter registration and vote from home.
And here's how we can crack down on political bribery. Overhaul lobbying and ethics laws and close the revolving door so politicians can't be bribed with high-paying job offers.
Mandate full transparency of political spending so we know who's trying to buy influence.
Give every voter a $50 or $100 tax voucher so politicians spend time fundraising from their constituents not just that 0.05% that I talked about earlier. And right now, these are all of the ways that you can help us go state by state, city by city, to fix the corruption in American politics. Volunteer and join a Represent Us chapter. Or, if that's not your thing, join the Commonwealth to make a monthly donation in support of someone who does volunteer. 100% of your money goes straight to passing these laws, not to overhead or our expenses. Every voice matters. Your voice matters. If you do nothing, nothing changes. But if we all do a little, we can win together.
Trying to unmute myself, but I don't know the host. Is that you, Ben, who keeps messing with my mute button? That would be you. That would be you. Anyway, thank you, America. I just want to say thank you to everyone else who's on here with us. We want you, if you have not, to know something really special. If you have not yet registered to vote, we understand there are a lot of procrastinators out there. It's all good. But you're here, you're feeling inspired, your friends are calling you, they're wanting you to be a part of their voting squad as they're tuning in, and you're like, I'm not registered. Well, if you're in one of these 21 states, DC included, because we also want that to be a state, they allow for same-day voter registration, and then you can vote.
Oh, shit.
Those states are listed at the bottom of your screen, which means there is still time to register and vote in the most important election of our lifetime. I know a lot of people say that, but for a lot of you, some of you are just turning 18. This is really literally the most important election of your lifetime. Yes. Now, before I get all serious about climate change and gun reform and all the things, let's get back to some comedy. Please welcome, direct from New York City, comedian Mike Birbiglia.
My observation about the event so far is I am not sure what is being broadcast and what is not. I'm just hoping that any of the stuff that's good is broadcast and the bad stuff isn't broadcast. And Doug already did my opening joke. Casually, Stanhope just casually whipped off my opening joke, which is full story is that a few years ago I was asked to do a charity celebrity golf tournament, and I was paired up with these two guys to golf, and the first thing they said to me was, "Who do you think our celebrity's gonna be?" And I go, "Oh no, I think it might be me." And then I'm like apologizing to these guys, like, "Hey, sorry, I'm your celebrity. If you think this is disappointing for you, you can't imagine how disappointing it is for me." No, it's Doug. That's how it's done, Stanhope. Yeah. But the thing that people recognize me from is nothing. They come up to me and they go, "Wait, what are you in?" And I say, "I'm in the worst conversation of my life. What are you in?" And that too. I'm like, "You cast me." I think Schumer's doing something on the show tonight, and I played in her movie Trainwreck. I played Brie Larson's husband, which the internet is angry about to this very day. Yeah, every once in a while, people are like, they see Trainwreck, they're like, "I'm taking this anger to the internet." Mike Birbiglia plays Brie Larson's husband in what universe? And I'm like, "No, movies? No, the same universe where Tom Cruise plays a Nazi but doesn't have a German accent? Movies." Same universe where an alien comes.
Made a whole career out of playing an Irishman, an Englishman, a German, and never changing his Scottish accent. It was genius.
But by the way, the director of Trainwreck was Judd Apatow, who's married to Leslie Mann in real life. In this universe. That one's called Brie Larson's husband in what universe? And a lot of comedians have been working on jokes during COVID, but I've been working on a vaccine So far, it's 2 parts French toast, 1 part maple syrup. We're in 3rd stage trials. The only person who's tried it is the president. So, and he took a lot of extra. Didn't know it was a vaccine. Oh. Yeah. I feel like my one conclusion, I bet someone like Stanhope has better perspective than I do about COVID, but my takeaway is that nothing is as it seems. You know, like I talked to my friend one day, he was like, I'm having a good pandemic, I'm getting a lot done. And the next week he's like, we're getting divorced. Week later, he's like, I murdered my grandmother. That's all you need to know. I have Irish citizenship. I'll be at the Zoom pottery class on Tuesday. I'm gonna close on this. My main message, if you're watching, is about voting. And the reason you should vote is because there's a thing called pizza to the polls. Pizza to the polls. There's one reason you should vote is that you get free pizza at the polls. And I love pizza. Like, I am physically drawn to pizza. Like, it's almost sexual. Like, I wouldn't have sex with pizza, but if I ate pizza alone, I wouldn't mention it to my wife. Does that make sense? I love pizza so much, I get excited when I see the word plaza. The word pizza itself is exciting because it has 2 Z's, which each have a slice of pizza, and an A, which is a 5th slice of pizza, all in one word, which is a literary device I call onomatopoeia.
Jesus.
That's all for me. Vote, vote, vote. Let's do this, everybody.
Mike Quigley, everybody, one more time.
Thank you.
We are now going to, throughout the course of the evening and starting right now in a very big way, we're going to be sharing with you some of the issues that are at stake in our country. A lot of people, because the media focuses on the wrong things, they focus just on the horse race and the drama and the controversial things. We don't often focus on the real things that are on the ballot that can be affected by the election happening tomorrow in this country. I believe tomorrow afternoon when I wake up. So, it's morning. It's very early morning, please. So we're now going to bring on somebody that we all know and love to share some of these issues with us in a segment we call I Have Issues with Deborah Messing. Are you here? Is she gone?
I think she left.
Turn your camera on.
Deborah, where are you at?
Oh, here's Deborah Messing.
Deborah has left the room.
We lost Deborah. We lost Deborah Messing.
She's got issues. What are we gonna say? We opened with it's a real thing.
That is true.
We can talk about one of the issues that I love, which is, LA County, you get the opportunity to vote for Measure J if you so choose. Thank you, Joshua Jackson. Maybe you want to jump in on that. But Measure J is going to give us 10% of the budget that will go towards all the things that we keep talking about, how we need to reinvest in communities and vulnerable communities. This will change the constitution of LA County and give us the opportunity to have those funds to actually invest in mental health and healthcare and all of these housing, all of the things. Joshua, would you like to weigh in on that? You were in that phone call that we had that let us know about that wonderful opportunity for folks to vote on.
Nope, I am just in violent agreement with you and so happy that you brought it up tonight.
It's really awesome. You can go to Reform LA Jails. You can go Patrice Collars. There's Diane Guerrera just did a really amazing post about it on her Instagram, and you can learn a little bit more. But if this passes in LA County, guess what? It gets to be pushed to be passed across the nation. And it's this kind of thing that's really special when we talk about voting that we don't always talk about, because we're always looking at the presidential candidates. You get to vote for propositions and measures across this country. That means you get to vote for laws and constitutional changes immediately. You don't have to wait for other leadership to do it. The organizers and the people who came together to make it happen and put it on the ballot have done it. Oh, you know what we just found out?
This is beautiful news.
Deborah's on a video bank. She is calling someone right now. She's doing one of these to one of our voter pledgers, which is pretty cool.
She's not interpretive dancing, Rosario, so that's a little bit better.
What are you saying right now? You did a time warp? I mean, if you want to go traditional.
Done. Sophia Bush had something she wanted to chime in on this topic, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Rosario. So in terms of Measure J, you know, Measure J is literally justice on the ballot here in LA. And as you mentioned, the measure allocates 10% of our unrestricted funds, which means that the stuff our city funds, that money stays. 10% of unrestricted funds is only 1/36 of the entire LA budget. And it goes to the kinds of programming that we know people need, getting houseless folks housed, making sure there's treatment for addiction, for mental health, things that actually support communities. And years ago, a report on just how much better those measures would make the community was voted into law, and then it wasn't funded. Because that's how so many things work when folks like us, you know, constituents and voters don't know what's going on. So we can actually fund the kinds of city programming that our city's leadership has said it knows will improve quality of life, the economy, and outcomes for all people. We don't have to invest in carceral punishment. We can invest in communities. And what's exciting for us guys, you know, to Rosario's point about what's on the ballot, is if this happens here in LA, if LA passes Measure J and we use it as a proving model, every other city around the country can go, hey, look at how well that worked. Look at the outcomes that changed in that city. This is part of the ways in which even voting down ballot for the things that are specific to us wherever we live affect the entire country. It's like everything is data, everything is a case study, and we can do really, really good things for our communities with measures like this. So whether you're voting top of the ballot for climate, like our expert Miss Ayana can talk about, or you're voting for things like restorative justice in, you know, huge metropolises like ours, we can really, really change outcomes for the country by supporting things like this. And don't you think the taxpayers like we're only gonna get a 36? Like, give it back.
Sophia Bush, like just a student. You're like, would you like 18 facts or 24?
I love it. This is how my anxiety, this is how I cope. I never
do your research.
While we get overwhelmed by anxiety, I would like that to be broken down. Daryl Hammond, for a little comic relief. Daryl, what is fun about this election? What has been keeping you going through the madness?
Gabapentin. I have really good health insurance and great shrinks. I think that I'm kind of scared tonight about what's going to happen in the next couple of days. A couple of months ago in New York, we had a blackout on the Upper West. What?
You're speaking
And we had a blackout on the Upper West Side, and my shrink today prepared me for possible cyber attacks, and the whole thing has got me really, really scared. And the way I understand it is you can remove this person from office if we can beat him by a fairly wide margin. Otherwise, he's going to take it into the courts. The whole thing is really scary.
Hi, Adam McKay here in the back of a scout van.
Hi, America. It's me, Chelsea
We are
Handler.
working
I have
on
a couple of
movie
questions.
amidst all
So we
this
gotta vote.
insanity. But I just
think
wanted
that
to
we've
take a
never
second
had,
to tell everyone
such an
who-
incredible
if
opportunity
there's
to come
anyone out
together
there
as a
who's
nation
left,
and
who's on the
show
fence
that the
about
voters
voting,
themselves are
please
the real
vote.
stars in
Do it
election
safely.
season.
Wear a mask, social
I
distance.
think
But
we've
man, oh
too often
man,
focused on
this
candidates,
election
and
among
as you
all
can see how much money is spent and wasted. I mean, hundreds of millions of dollars go into ads and for candidates that don't even go forward. And that could be cleaning up parks, that could be forgiving student debt. I think that we have a generation with Generation Z that didn't need, tolerance campaigns, awareness campaigns like I grew up on. They're incredibly accepting. They are incredibly aware and have such access that they're really utilizing. And so I'm really filled with hope watching, if you watch the 2018 midterms, people was record turnout. And what did that give us? It changed Congress, and we had 98 years after the ratification of the 19th Amendment, we had our first Native women who are represented in our Congress. 400 pieces of really progressive legislation that was bipartisan was voted to go forward. It's sitting in the Senate, but that means with this vote right now, we have an opportunity to make those things turn into laws and really start affecting change in a way where people can start to really see when I vote, it changes and it matters. So this is the election for that to happen. So I'm going to just stick with that hope and that belief that what we saw in 2018 is going to be surpassed this year, because we're already seeing record turnout and people showing up, people coming and voting on lines, voting early, sending in their ballots, going back to re-vote and re-register themselves because their ballots are being thrown out and they're going back to do it. I just see a fervor, and I see an understanding that they are the power, that we are individually just one vote, but together we are many. And I'm just going to cross my eyes and toes and fingers and all the things, because no matter what, we have a fight to go ahead. None of these things are going to happen with just one vote, one election. We got a lot of work to do, and people are actually taking the time to study and learn and figure it out so we can move forward. And I believe.
Here's the beauty of it, if I can say. That was a beautifully said thing, Rosario. And I just want to say, Daryl expressed that he wants the president to not win re-election. Of course, there are millions and millions who want him to win re-election. That's what makes America great. That's what tomorrow is all about. There's people that believe what he's doing is great, and then he has made America great again, or is doing it. I'm not sure what slogan they're on right now, but there's people that believe that things are back on track. And so the point is, tomorrow is when we get to express our right, one way or the other, no matter what side of these issues you are on. But it certainly helps to be educated on these issues and what's truly at stake. And so now, out of her voter call, she has now rejoined us in the Celebrity Video Bank. She's going to be now joining me for a discussion on the issues that are at stake and on the ballot tomorrow in the segment we call I Have Issues with Deborah Messing.
All right. I like that. How you doing, Ben?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm fired up, especially after hearing Rosario talk. I mean, it really is exciting. That's right. Vote. I see that T-shirt. Our voice is our power, and what we can do tomorrow is really, really exciting. Like what Rosario was talking about. There are 11 bills that the House passed that are still sitting on McConnell's desk, just not being addressed and not being brought up for a vote. If we get 4 more senators, then we can pass them. And I'm just going to tell you 5 of the bills that we could pass, and if Biden wins, would go to become law. The first one is
But really quickly, conversely, of course, if those 4 seats are held by Republicans and they maintain control of the Senate, then those things won't pass, and that's the direction the country will go. And it's up to each individual to decide what's more valid for them or what's more important to them. So take us through the facts of these bills that are passed, that will either pass or not pass based on tomorrow's election, please. First, tell us your top 5 issues.
Absolutely. The first one is H.R. 4, the John R. Lewis Voting Rights Act. And what that says is that it prevents the suppression of minority voting rights in all the states. So
Yeah.
We don't, as you were saying, Ben, we don't currently have that right now. And if we vote 4 senators in, and we will get that. So that's how powerful our votes are. I mean, that it's a matter of having it or not having it. The next one I'd like to highlight is HR 5, the Equality Act, which prevents discrimination of any kind based on sexual identity.
You.
That one's dear to my heart.
Just to be clear on all these issues, again, no one's message here is to promote one party or another. It's about ideas, and it's about human values and human rights. And that's just the reality of it. So there's nothing wrong with sharing facts and let people decide as they may. That's very important, right? There are. It's an absolute fact that bill could be passed by the Republicans in the Senate, and they choose not to take it up and not to pass it. And so that stands for their values. And the Democrats want to pass it. And so that's what the vote will determine, these issues. Please tell us another one. Speak on it, Deborah Messing.
Another one is HR 6, the American Dream and Promise Act, which provides a path to citizenship for qualified dreamers.
Yep. Even President Trump at some times has been supportive of giving the ability to become citizens, have that path. And he's even said in the past, who doesn't like that? You got to respect it. You got to people come here. They're good people. Okay, and so then politics happened and he went back on it. So these are not issues that are partisan. It's just things that we can do or not do.
Yes.
Yeah, but please.
That's right. And then we have the Paycheck Fairness Act, which is HR 7, which mandates equal pay for women in the workplace. Which, I mean, you would think that would really be a bipartisan thing, because women bringing more money into the household is better for the entire family, and therefore it's better for the economy.
In fairness, some people, Deborah, who are against that have never spoken to a woman.
Perhaps. And the last
Too busy interrupting.
And the last one that I'd like to highlight is HR 8, the bipartisan Background Checks Act, which mandates background checks for all gun purchases.
Yeah.
We all know that is a hot button issue. People have very strong feelings on both sides. The thing that I think was incredible to learn is that this particular bill was supported by both Democrats and Republicans. And for whatever reason, the leader decided not to bring it up for a vote. But that gives me hope that, we are able to come together and talk about issues and find a way.
And over 90% of the American public is in support of strengthening background checks. So you can't say that's partisan. That's just, it's caught up in some lobbying stuff. There's money that's making our Congress people not be able to pass stuff that the American people want. As Jennifer Lawrence talked about, what we want makes a statistically insignificant effect on what actually happens. So let's stop letting these clowns decide what we do or don't get. Let's let the people decide what we get. That's my
Amen.
There it is.
That's, I think, the most important thing about having a surge of voters, because it shows that people are paying attention and that they care about a lot of issues. And regardless of whether their red team or blue team wins, the majority of American people actually agree on quite a lot of these issues. And I love that you pointed out specifically on things like gun reform, which you would never know according to how the media necessarily portrays it, but actually quite a lot of people agree across the aisle. And so that's this is, I think, why this telethon is so critical and important, is that we are really focusing and centering the voter and saying that what you care about, no matter how this election goes, matters and should be moved upon. And that's why it's so critical. The state legislatures, the senators, the Congress people, all of it gets voted upon so that we can start having real debate and have some real traction on these issues, state by state, city by city, nationwide. And that's the possibility that we have right now, which is really, really awesome.
It looks like a sandwich. I can't really do it good.
All right, it's a hard sandwich, and it's.
I was sending a heart to Rosario.
That's fine.
Not to you, Ben. Not to you.
Not to you, Ben. Now, I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. So just kidding. I would love to take this opportunity to share a message from Golden Globe nominee Eva Longoria. We've got a little pre-tape from her, Phil Rosenthal, a little pre-tape, and we would love to throw to that.
Hi, I'm Eva Longoria. I'm one of the to inspire and inform Latinas, and also for Latinas to get out there and vote. I know. Hollywood tells you that we are hot and spicy and caliente and other words used to describe salsa, but we are also very politically charged and active. We are socially conscious, and we're civically engaged, and we're civically responsible, which is why a few of my friends and I got together to form a coalition of Latina women who are empowered and informed about what is happening in our country right now. And we want you to join us by having your voice heard at the voting booth, in the voting booth. And if you're still not sure, she se puede. Yes, she can. All right, I gotta go now because I'm craving salsa.
Murray, look, we're on the telethon. Look, Murray, this is Murray, everybody, and I'm Phil Rosenthal from Somebody Feed Phil, and Murray and I want you to exercise your rights as Americans to go vote. Don't throw it away. Come on, that's what makes us Americans. We can vote for who we want. People, do it. Go to telethonforamerica.com and please vote. Do it for Murray. Here's your boy. Here's your puppy.
We are back, everybody. We are back. That was some.
Woo!
Woo! I have faith.
That was beautiful.
It was great.
Can we talk to some more of our video bank? Have you guys done calls yet? How's it going? Is it going good?
Yeah. Amazing.
Calls with
great.
pledges?
Nobody's asked me to do shit yet. Open. Nothing. I got nothing over here.
Randomly dialing
blanket
people.
behind me. Oh, Jesus Christ. What the fuck is going on?
Like to talk to us about the climate. Joshua, would you like to take this issue on for a second?
Sure. In the presence of an actual doctor who does this actually with everything every day of her life, sure, I'll just jump in right here.
I'll just be here to fact check you as needed. Please lead away.
Ooh, I love real-time fact check.
Lord.
It makes
Real-time
debate so
fact
much
check.
more
I'm
fun.
having massive, this is like all my worst high school nightmares coming true in real time publicly. Wow, this is great. So the simple high level stuff is your vote tomorrow is a vote to put us back into the Paris Accords. Because if we get 4 senators to shift from the Republican to the Democratic side, we can actually vote for climate sanity. There's a bill already in Congress. But really what your vote is to bring American leadership back to the planet, because the planet doesn't have 4 more years to wait. We have waited too long. I don't think there's a single person, certainly on this call, but there's nobody who was born anywhere in the X or Z generations who can really think that climate change is a hoax anymore. My generation has failed miserably at leading on this issue. And so sadly, we've left it up to the next generation to save the planet from us. So that's what you're voting for. Because as much as we have a pandemic, as much as we have racial strife inside of this country right now, as much as we have massive inequality, the planet and physics won't wait for us. So you have to choose now to drag this country into the greatest crisis the planet has ever seen. American leadership is a must. Originally Canadian, we trust you guys. We believe in you guys. I can vote down here now. It's amazing, but you gotta get off your asses and vote on this, because if we don't demand change, the people who are in charge will not change. They're not gonna do it for us. We have to hold their feet to the fire.
Well said.
That's it.
Well said.
And now my paper will be graded by an actual doctor who actually does this for a living.
Joanna Elizabeth Johnson here with not a fact check, but some additional information.
Right.
I would just add that, if we're comparing the climate plans of the two presidential candidates, I went to Donald Trump's website to see what his climate plan was. He lists his environmental achievements as opening up more of our public lands to oil and gas drilling, as creating more pipelines, as leaving the Paris Agreement. As Josh said, we would leave the United Nations Climate Agreement on November 4th, in 2 days, if Trump is reelected. Sort of like giving up our global leadership. We're the country who's emitted the most greenhouse gases over the course of the last 50 years. So that's Trump's climate plan, is subsidize the fossil fuel industry to the tune of tens of billions of dollars, including in the Recovery Act, instead of investing in green jobs. And on the other side, you have Biden, whose plan, honestly, wasn't that good early in the primary, but he's super gotten it together. And now the goal is 100% renewable electricity by 2035 and 40% of funds for climate going to disadvantaged communities to make that transition. And the dude even has mangroves listed in his climate plan, which as a marine biologist makes me extremely happy that the ocean is getting some love. So yeah, they really are, if you just look at what they're saying on their websites about what they're committing to, they couldn't be more different. And to just echo what others were saying about the importance of local elections, please look up your local candidates. They're the ones who are deciding if you have bike lanes, composting, good public transit, if you have a good energy efficiency for your building codes, if you have power plants in your neighborhood, if you're holding fossil fuel companies accountable. That's like city council, utility commission, state senate. And so for those who are looking for advice on, or information on the climate records of members of Congress, incumbents, and people running, there's a website called voteclimatepac.org, and it'll tell you how these people have voted on climate issues in the past. So it's a great resource if you want to know if you, like me, are primarily a climate voter.
I love that. Thank you so much, Ayana. We really appreciate it.
You got it. Got some climate policy facts.
We love an expert.
And now we are going to go to one of the executive producers of this telethon who has a few words and something she would like to talk about. Please give a very warm welcome to my dear friend, Alyssa Milano.
So, I want to talk about what's going to happen in the next 24 hours, really, and how this is going to shape up. Because I think it's really, really important that we all know and that we all recognize that in a democracy, every single vote is counted. And so what we may see in the next, we don't know for sure, but we might see that a candidate might decide, even before all the votes are counted, that they're going to go on Twitter and declare victory. This is when we all, including the media, needs to call out that that is not okay. So everyone that's watching this, everyone that's in this room, we should all use hashtags count every vote and hashtag every vote counts. And now I also want to say this. In the last 4 years, I've seen a level of engagement that has been truly remarkable as someone who's been doing this this work for 20 years. It's blown my mind, and it's been incredibly, incredibly special to witness. But I want everyone to think of the election not as the end, but as the beginning of a new era with whoever is going to get voted into office, because there is so much we still have to fight for. And I'm just going to use the example, let's say that Joe Biden is elected and we flip the Senate and we hold the House. So we're probably only going to have 2 years of that kind of power if that is the case, if that is what happens. And we must commit to fight just as hard every day after that, to put forth policy that is going to protect the integrity of the American people, that is going to protect equality for all, for women's rights, civil rights, LGBTQ rights, Latinx rights, indigenous rights. We all have to promise that the work does not stop on November 4th, that we continue the work. And I just want to say a thank you for everybody who's here tonight with us, but also everyone who is at home, even my trolls. You're all awesome, and I will fight for your right to call me whatever horrible names you want to call me, because in a democracy that is what's allowed. So remember, hashtag count every vote, and hashtag every vote counts. And God bless you all, and God bless America. My mind.
Alyssa Milano beautifully said it.
Not as the end, but as the beginning of a new era.
You are a very passionate person. You've always been this.
Have I always been this passionate? Yeah.
See, this is why I wanted to name myself Sam after your show when I was a little kid, because you put me through the television screen like that, and I was like,
and now
now
I just want to be you. So see,
I'm mad I didn't wear the glasses. I missed the glasses club situation.
Full circle. We have come full circle.
That's why I grew up thinking that Samantha was Samantha. That's how I thought. Somebody else here who'd like to tell us a little bit about Election Day and some thoughts. And it's a man that you might know from a show called Breaking Bad, you might know from a show called Mr. Show, and you might know from Better Call Saul, Bob Odenkirk, everybody.
Yeah. Thank you. Okay, wait. Unmute myself. Hi, everyone, and anybody who's watching. This is what I look like without makeup and a hairpiece. I think I probably look better, actually. You guys have made such great speeches. I've heard such wonderful information and thoughtful and spirited speeches. And I'm here to talk about, there's a certain group of people out there and they know who they are and nobody else knows who they are. They're the people who've never actually voted, but every time election comes around, they find a way to sneak an "I voted" sticker from a friend, one that falls off their jacket. Maybe they steal it. Maybe it's on the ground. It's so sad that some of you have done this. You picked it up like a dirty tramp, like an old-time vagabond. You picked up a rotten, stinky, used I voted sticker, and you put it on and parade it around. You parade it around as though you had actually done that. Listen, I got good news for you, you layabout. There's same-day registration in a lot of states. And some surprising states where you can, if you're not registered because you moved there or because you just have always dragged your butt around, if you're in Alaska, California, there's a lot of people in Alaska. Sure. And if you're listening to me, you can register tomorrow and vote. California, Colorado, Connecticut, DC, Hawaii, Idaho, right? Idaho. They've got open minds. They want your vote tomorrow. Illinois, Iowa, Maine. Iowa's a big one this year. Maine, Maryland, Minnesota, Montana, New Hampshire. Are you in North Carolina? My sister's there. You can go vote. You can register and vote on the same day. North Dakota, of all places. Utah, of all places. Vermont, Washington, Wisconsin, Wyoming. So I wanted to give you that list and encourage people who, look, it's a weird thing, right? Where you promise yourself you're doing it, and you never get around to it. But this is a year I think a lot of people are going to get around to it. Not necessarily always for the best reason. COVID has given some of us too much free time that we don't even want. But I hope that you're registered. And if you're in those states, you can register on the same day and vote. So I want everyone to vote. And I'm always trying to be sensitive to everybody on the political spectrum. I really think that the more people that vote, it's just better in every way. And I'm people that vote probably on the sides politically on the side of many of you, but I think that the greatest achievement we can get out of this election, and you're going to think I'm joking, is to get hopefully a president who doesn't tweet angry commentary all through the night, and so that you wake up every morning a little bit scared of what fire might have been lit. And I can't believe that more people don't see that manipulation as manipulation. And I am shocked at the number of people on the right say, things like, well, I could do without the tweets, as though it was some small thing that didn't really have a consequence. It does have a consequence. It's almost more dangerous than anything else that's being done, because it degrades people's belief in the system and in each other, and it makes us angry at each other, and it just creates I actually, you probably don't agree with me, many of you, but I think one of the greatest things that can be brought with hopefully a win by Joe Biden would be a degree of decency that could come back into our lives. Did I get too serious?
I think it's good. And if anything, people should go and watch the Social Dilemma documentary, so you can see not just from how this current administration is necessarily using social media, but just social media in general, and how so many people are getting so much of their information that way. There's not a lot of regulations on it. There's a lot of misinformation. And that's why events like this are so critical, because we can give folks unfiltered, straight, no noise facts, but that they can work with to show up tomorrow and vote their values and vote their interests and vote their issues. And so we can't keep highlighting the negative and what's out there and keep pointing to it that's not good, because it only amplifies it. The best thing that we can do is use that social media to counter that noise and give people verifiable things so that they can make stronger and better choices and not vote against themselves. So one of the videos that we're going to share with you right now was actually done by Ty Burrell and Alec Baldwin. I hope that you will enjoy, and I hope they got some good information for you.
So some people say they don't want to register to vote because they don't want jury duty, which is crazy, because jury duty is amazing. It's like Law and Order Live. I know, because even though my eyebrows make me look like a prehistoric caveman, I am actually a modern day American. And I went. What I found out was that jury duty is actually super cool. I met a bunch of interesting people. We had a cool case about a dude who ran a sketchy laundromat and double-crossed his friends. And justice was served. And it was better than Law and Order, because
You are currently enjoying the logo for the Telethon for America, presented by Represent Us. And please keep in mind, Parts of this will
And
be
it
a
felt
shit
really
show on
good
account
to
of it
be
being the
on a
year
jury of someone's
2020.
peers, like
We're
the Bill
trying
of
to do
Rights
what we
promises
can
me
with limited
if I ever run a
technology
sketchy laundry
to help ensure the
You
strength
can
of our
still
democracy.
register to vote in
Please
21 states.
have
So go to
patience. I mean,
Telethon for
seriously, it could be
America
worse.
to find out if you're one of those lucky people.
What up, everybody? This is Jay Ellis from HBO's Insecure. Listen, people, we have been holed up in our house for 7 months now. And if you have not already gotten out to vote, tomorrow you have to leave your house and go vote. That's right. And because I don't want any of you guys to look like some of the zombies from The Walking Dead, I'm going to give you a few tips to look right at the polls. All right, voting tip number 1. I always get a haircut before I go to the polls. That's right, because you're standing in a long line and you just want your face, you want to look right. You know what I'm saying? Voting tip number 2, here we go. Sneaker game on point. That's right, because the lines are long. So you got to have the right balance of style and comfort. All right, voting tip number 3. This is the last one. This is really for the fellas. Your beard game, right? Some of us have grown beards during this quarantine, during this time we've been at home, and you want to go out and you want to show your beard off. So you got to make sure it's moisturized. I use argan oil. And, it's really important that you shape it up. You get it cleaned up, you know what I'm saying? Because you took a lot of time to grow this thing, and good things take time, like my beard. And vote.
By now, it should be clear to everyone that this election is the most important of our lifetime. So here is an appeal to the young people of America. This is your election, your moment. Seize it like your life depends on it, because, frankly, it does. It is not just the future of our country that is at stake in this election, but also the future of our planet. Climate change, the single greatest existential threat to people and our planet, is on the ballot. Every year is getting measurably hotter than the last, intensifying wildfires, droughts, storms, and floods. We need to elect leaders that recognize the climate emergency and all global environmental and social justice issues as American issues. There is no walling ourselves off from them, no isolating ourselves. The pandemic, itself a byproduct of our broken relationship with nature, must surely have taught us that. By destroying forests and wildlife, we put ourselves in harm's way for diseases like COVID. We are all connected in this world, and we need leaders that embrace the need for international cooperation. What happens in another corner of the planet is of critical importance to the health, safety, livelihoods, and well-being of Americans. Take the accelerating destruction of the Amazon rainforest. Research shows that deforestation in the Amazon can impact weather patterns around the globe and rainfall in our own country for food production. The Amazon rainforest is nearing an irreversible tipping point and could collapse. Forests, wildlife, and a global climate regulation system that took millions of years to evolve are being cut down or burned in days or weeks. The collapse of the Amazon will mean absolute climate chaos. This is a critical time, but there is still hope. Fortunately, we know what it will take to stop deforestation and climate change. It comes down to action by governments on laws, enforcement, and finance supported by a civil society and business. When you vote for candidates who support strong climate action, who understand the need for international cooperation and American leadership, you are making a difference. So my appeal, vote like your life depends on it. Vote like all of our lives depend on it, because we need you. Only 30% of Gen Z voters and 50% of Gen X voters turned out to vote in the 2018 midterm elections. Even so, you still outvoted older people. You now make up the majority of voting eligible adults. That means that you can be the difference makers in this election. But you have to show up. Please vote. Please tell all of your friends to vote. Vote for the issues that inspire you, and vote for the future of this beautiful planet of ours. Thank you.
All right, that was Alec Baldwin, everybody, speaking about this planet of ours, our little planet, that's all. And I would love now to kick it to a dear friend of mine with a message that comes to you from one of the presenting sponsors of this event about a cause that I think is very important. Sophia Bush, please take it away.
Hello. Care about democracy. I love this. Also, Esther, I'm dying to know what was making you giggle like that while we were all muted, but we'll talk about it later. Guys, we talk about amazing anti-corruption organizations like Represent Us, who have 87% bipartisan support. By the way, I get a little excited and sometimes I run over my words. They have something really important for us to all think about, and it revolves around America's capital. There are 750,000 American citizens that call Washington, D.C. home. I'm talking teachers, nurses, firefighters, custodians, Washingtonians. They all do the same things that the rest of us do, like raise families and pay taxes and fight in our wars. But unlike everyone else in America, they're not represented in Congress, which feels insane, which means that they are subjected to politically motivated whims of politicians, many of whom don't actually live in the District of Columbia. I know, it feels weird. I mean, these people don't even have a name for their football team because apparently in 2020, not being racist is partisan. Y'all, come on. We need to fix this. All Americans have the right to representation, whether it's in Congress, on the football field, whatever. If you're not a sports person, I don't sport either, but this is important to people. Folks deserve to have their voices heard no matter where they live. And statehood for Washington, D.C. is actually about treating all American citizens fairly and as equals. So, learn more about DC statehood. You can text 51st, as in 51ST, to the number 52886, and maybe also suggest a non-horrible name for the football team. I don't know.
I love it. Thank you, Sophia Bush. And that is, of course, from the amazing organization DC, fighting for DC statehood for a very long time. Please look into them. Please text that code. To tell it to you one more time, if I may, the code is, you can text 51st, 51ST to 52886. And I would like to now say hello to Busy Phillips, who's with us. Busy, are you there?
Busy Phillips. Busy Phillips.
Joshua.
I'm very excited by this next guest.
Oh, hi, Josh.
Hi, Biz.
How are you?
I'm fabulous. How are you?
I'm so good. I'm good. Congratulations on everything.
Thank you. Yeah, it's been a hell of a year. What have you been up to?
Not much. Just things seem chill. Mercury in retrograde. It's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here, though. Let's get voting, everybody. What?
Have you voted yet, or are you voting tomorrow?
I voted, yes, I voted. I did absentee. I already voted. I voted a long time ago, and I vote in California. I've lived there for 22 years, but I recently moved to New York City, and so I did an absentee ballot, but California is one of the states that has a way to track your ballot. So you go online, and then you can see when your vote has gone in.
But now, Busy, just to make sure that we dispel some myths here, you send in an absentee ballot, you mail it in. Are you a dead person?
Am I what?
Are you a dead person, or are you?
I'm alive. I'm alive.
You are alive. Interesting. Are any of your friends dead, and do you know if they mailed in ballots or made up fake ballots, or is it all living people that you know of that's mailed in votes?
I mean, listen, the veil has been thin for the last few days. I don't know if you know that, but everyone that I know that's voted by mail is alive.
Zoom call with Joshua Jackson.
Somebody might want to check on Dom Herrera, for Christ's sakes. I don't know how he's doing.
Dom Herrera disappeared. Dom Herrera is just gone now, you guys. That's fine. Dom is...
I would die.
We can give him a minute. And I would like now, if I could, thank you for joining us, Busy. We'll be putting you into a breakout room soon with our lucky Reminder, go to telethonforamerica.com.
Voting.
Like to vote and to bring your friends to the polls at the bottom of the homepage. That increases your chance to get invited here into our Zoom to speak one-on-one in a video chat with our celebrity participants. And now I would like to bring on a live performance. This show is produced by Nowhere Comedy. If you guys don't know what it is, during the pandemic with Steve Hofstetter, I created the world's first virtual comedy club because entertainment for the planet stopped and we couldn't see live entertainment. And so we figured, let's figure out a way to create a comedy club experience in a virtual world where the mics are on and it's wild and crazy, and of course some stuff goes wrong sometimes, like for tonight. We're trying to make our best use of this crazy technology in the world's craziest year, but we still did it. So by the way, you can check out nowherecomedyclub.com, get tickets to a live show, and you'll see a little sample of one of our dear friends right now performing from right here, the Nowhere Comedy Club stage in Los Angeles. Give a warm welcome to a man starring in a film coming out on Christmas Day on Amazon called Sylvie's Choice. Or you might have seen his Showtime special, You Can't Cancel This. Give it up for Tone Bell, everybody.
Thank you, everyone, for doing what you're doing. Secondly, Ben, that you got both titles wrong. That is not the name of my special or the name of the movie coming out. But we got bigger fish to fry. That's not. Somebody tell them this is my sticker for real. I voted 3 days ago, but I've been wearing this hoodie for 3 days too. Let me tell you something. I don't know if anybody walked up to the ballot. Like I walked to the ballot box instead of mailing. I did the ballot box. I did the ballot box thing, and I met. There's like 2 other guys and an older white woman, and the 4 of us like were dropping in the same. It was really one of those funny feelings where like, because we all got our mask on, but everybody's about to put their ballot in, and then because you're not really talking, but everybody just looks at each other and goes, "Good luck." Oh man, we all got our fingers crossed. Oh man, but once again, like, everybody who's popped in, I've been here for about 20-30 minutes watching everybody. Thank you for your efforts and your resilience and your patience with everything that's going on. It's really heavy. It's really heavy, and it's hard to get outside of seeing this all day, every day. But I just regular shit. You know what I mean? Like it's sometimes you just want to get back. I just like remember when straws was a thing? We were complaining about straws. Maybe in LA it was like straws was going away because of turtles, and then COVID resurrected straws, and then now nobody gives a fuck about turtles. Like I don't. Let me ask you a question. Just you can think to yourself. You don't have to answer out loud. But when is the last time you said "bless you" to a stranger? It's been about 50. You know what I mean? Somebody cares about you throwing out there, but a stranger, you like. If somebody sneezes around you now, you'd be like, "Are you? What is wrong with you?" 6 months ago, I was in that. I don't know. I think everybody's kind of flipped. I don't know. Everybody's different. You know, you gotta know your audience. You gotta know your audience. Like anything, you have to know your audience. And I guess I don't know. I'm in this place of like, I'm trying to figure. God damn it! My dog just got in here. Leave. Hey, I'm back. Let's keep it professional. Like I just want. Do you remember 6-8 months ago when when you just all you did was cook because you were at home. You just cook. I'm just cooking everything, and then we finally got tired of doing dishes. So you're like, fuck it, I'm gonna roll these dice and order food. I'm just roll these dice. I can't keep on cooking anymore. I'm done with this, right? And finally, because I actually the commercials got better. I don't know if you like all the commercials like, oh, we're gonna do, we're gonna sanitize, we're gonna be better. Like Domino's had that one where it was like, hey, from now on, when after your pizza comes out the oven, nobody's gonna touch it. You're like, who the fuck was touching my pizza before? I was touching my pizzas after it came out the oven. I wasn't out here taking my pizzas at 400 degrees. And that makes you realize, like, for the last 25 years, they've been sending out pizzas out butt naked. There's just no line of defense. No line of defense. You just got that cardboard hinge and just on the way to your house when somebody just putting their hand directly on top of your pizza on that little ottoman. That's it. But now they put a safety. They call it a safety seal. They put a safety seal on it. It's a sticker. Don't call it something that. It's a sticker. It's on one side and sticky on the other. That's a sticker. 5 years ago, they was fixing streets. Get the crust right. Don't worry about the roads. Get the crust right now, Miller. All right, I think that's my time, y'all. Hey, man, once again, thank y'all for everybody what you're doing.
Tone Bell, everybody, Tone Bell.
If you're a New Yorker, you know all about that cuchi frito, and it's all about having like that leftover oil that they never change out, so you get that real sabor. So maybe the pizza was getting licked or something in the past, and that's what made it taste so good. You don't know. You don't know. And that's what made it taste so good. You don't know. You don't know. It's a special sauce. I love how much pizza has been talked about on this tonight. It is my favorite thing. All right, we're gonna just let someone randomly into the call, but we're hoping it's Carrie Wash. Well, did I not say it?
Well, late now. It's too late.
Well, I got Carrie Wash. It could be anybody. There's a lot of Carrie Washes. I'm sure.
Tom is gonna pass away before the end of this.
I tried. I don't know if you're still on here, busy. I tried to say hi, but I got randomly muted by the host. I think it was Ben.
Here's busy. It's not busy.
Wait, is that Carrie?
Busy is
Carrie Wash.
We add her. There we go. Oh, she's already been added. Hello.
I'm not Kerry Washington, Rosario.
You're not?
So far, we've learned that you are not dead and you're not Kerry Washington. This is.
I sort of sometimes wish I were either one.
No.
Just kidding, guys. Just kidding. It's all gonna be better tomorrow.
A very important message from another one of the amazing organizations helping make this event come to life. And we're going to go back to Alyssa Milano to share with us a few words about an amazing organization called Unify. Alyssa?
Thank you, Ben. Well, as everyone can see, we've been working our asses off tonight to make sure that your voice is heard through your vote tomorrow. And it's 2020, so we all really appreciate the work. But that is just the beginning. So I want to talk to you a little bit about the deep-pocketed lobbyists and how, they don't go home after Election Day. So I believe that we shouldn't go home either. And, I totally get it. It's hard to know where to even begin to make this whole thing work for all of us. But that is where Unify comes in, and it's super cool. Unify is a nonprofit organization that brings all kinds of people together to reduce division and create a more equitable, resilient, and unified world. And when I say all of us, I'm talking a multi-generational, multi-racial, multi-ideology, everything community here. This is a space for you, and there is a space for you in Unified, no matter who you are. So through convenings, a neighborhood-based grassroots program, a leaders network, and issue-specific solution labs, Unify makes it easy for you to do anything from, I don't know, like starting a community garden to tackling big issues like climate change and criminal justice reform. So right after the election, Unify is starting a solutions agenda setting process, arming you to accelerate progress on the solutions to the key challenges that you care about. To get involved, text voice to 558-205-0757 or go to www.unify, but spelled YOUNIFY.org.
One more time on that code. There was an audio problem. One more time, Alyssa.
On the code part,
yes, please.
You could text voice to 508-205-0757 or go to www.unify.org. And Unify is spelled YOUNFY.org. And you could do it tonight. So just be proactive in trying to really unite the country, and go check out Unify.
Thank you so much, Alyssa Milano.
Awesome. That was so good. So Carrie Wash isn't here, but we have Carrie period. So, or punto in español.
Oh, look at this. Why don't you guys talk?
Hi.
Carrie Wash.
I'm sitting in my car because I just got off the plane. I was in Michigan all day helping to turn out the vote. So I just got off the plane. I was like,
yes.
Amazing party before it's over.
Yo, I'm loving all the jewelry, the whole look though. Like you're
Yeah.
gonna roll. You're like, yo, let's do this. So like, let's talk about the
It was so cold. It was so cold in Michigan. I was like, oh my gosh, I've gotten so.
How's the vibe in Michigan, Carrie? How does it feel on the ground?
You know, it's really exciting that it feels like people know how much they matter. You know what I mean? Like I feel like to me, when I vote, that is my statement of mattering in the world, that I matter, that my values, that my views matter. And so you get that feeling in Michigan, like people really understand how needed they are in a functioning democracy. So that's just like, it's so great to be out there and to be reminding them.
I love that.
Yeah. I always found that like, doing voter registration with people, it's like it's so quick to register and it always throws people just how quick it is. And it also, you see this expansiveness where you suddenly like the civil rights movement, the suffragette movement, the suffragist movement, everything suddenly comes to life, vivid life. And you feel like you're a part of a community. Yeah. And you feel like you're a part of a struggle. You feel like you have a voice. It's like, it's a whole other thing. And it's really powerful to then turn that into not just voter registration, but into voter turnout. Because, we need people to vote at least 3 times, we find, before they become a voter for life, if it's not something that's passed down to them. So to make it an identity. How has that been for you? Why is voting such a big thing for you?
The thing I've been saying a lot lately, because I think this is really true, is like, we pay their salaries, right? Like elected officials work for us. When we pay our taxes, we pay their salaries. And so to me, in a way, voting is how you boss up. Like otherwise you have people out here working for you, but you're not holding them accountable. You're not saying like, you work for me, you need to be accountable for the decisions you make. You need to be representing me in that office as your constituent. So I really feel like if we don't vote, then we're like irresponsible bosses. We're asleep at the wheel. We're not controlling our business. And I see people light up when I say that, because I think people forget how much agency we have to make change in our own communities. We think that somebody else is the boss, that somebody else is supposed to make change. But no, they're making change on our behalf according to our directives. They work for us. And I feel like, since the scandal years, people, whenever there's a crisis, people are constantly like, Olivia Pope, you have to fix this. Like, Olivia Pope, you got to save the day. And I just keep saying to people, she actually has so little power. Like Olivia Pope is a character on television, but you have the power to transform your community, your city, your state, the country. You really have the power.
And I love that you're talking about them being that we're being their boss, and the job that we've given them not only pays their salary, but it's a salary and it's a job that comes with really good health care. And I think, and as we're in the middle of COVID right now, and a lot of people who've lost their jobs and their healthcare was tied to their jobs, there's a lot of fear right now. And so, that's one of the things, as we've talked about climate change, that healthcare is really on the ballot. Can you speak a little bit to that? Is that something that's been coming up while you're out there?
Yeah. Yeah, I love that you said that. It's true. It's like our elected officials, they have fantastic healthcare because they know how important it is to have healthcare, right? To be able to do your job. I think of a similar idea around in the military. Like there's incredible childcare in the military because we know how effective it is for families when you take care of kids. And so we need to start to treat all Americans as being as valuable as those we put in leadership, because we're seeing it. We're seeing it now. The country's so vulnerable, and we have to protect each other. This virus doesn't discriminate. It doesn't only infect people of a certain socioeconomic background or race. Everyone is vulnerable. So we have to take care of each other. And we're seeing that obviously some of us are being hit more by the virus because we don't have access to the same resources. But the science of the virus is the same for everybody. So we have to look out for each other.
Yeah, I think it's, we have almost half the population percentage wise in the Latino community and Latinx community, but it's over 30% that is represented as essential workers and how they're getting really hard hit. So, it's a community, it's the second largest voting bloc in this election. They've gotten to that space and could really decide. It's not a monolithic voting group, but it's one that could be really, really decisive. What kind of stuff are you seeing is really motivating people? Were you talking about specific issues besides necessarily healthcare that is getting people to say, you know what, this time I'm making sure I'm voting?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the things that are on people's minds, there's so much that's on people's minds, but the four epidemics keep coming up for me: the global pandemic of coronavirus, the economic downturn that we're in, the systematic racism that we're facing, and the climate crisis. Like those four issues are the ones that keep coming up again and again, and they're so connected to each other actually, which people are really starting to put together. I know I'm really starting to see how real that is.
Yeah. Well, obviously, like environmental injustice. I really, I think for a long time during COVID, people were like, how are we ever going to go back out and be with each other again? And after George Floyd's murder, we ended up seeing people going from, I'm bored at home and I'm learning how to make banana bread, to a week later out there being like, Black trans lives matter, and it's like really, really powerful to see that humanity when, just moments before people were so scared about how they were going to get out of their house, that it was humanity that brought them out into the streets to say that we stand up for each other. How is that, you think, translating from, we always talk about that you're going and marching in the streets, but are you going to actually march to the polls?
I know, right? It takes so many kinds of engagement to create change. Like, I think I love that so many of us were marching, and now we need to vote according to those values, because we need all kinds of pressure to hold our systems accountable. And some of that happens in the voting booth, and some of that happens out on the street. And so doing what you can, also like knowing who are you and how do you want to engage, right? Like not everybody wants to go to Michigan to be in the cold to get people out. Some people want to write a check. Some people want to bake cookies and sell them and donate the money somewhere. Like, people, I think it's important to kind of ask yourself, like, in what way everybody needs to give, right? For democracy to work, we all have to engage. We're learning that. We all have to show up. So what is it that you can give? What's your superpower? What do you have to offer, and figure out how to lend that toward democracy?
I love that came up a lot during Standing Rock about the keyboard warriors. Not everybody could actually get out to the Dakotas, but they could go out there and they could amplify it online.
Yeah.
Is there any hashtags? I mean, we're obviously pledged to vote. Every vote counts. Count every vote. Any hashtags, any particular messages you think that should be amplified right now that could be encouraging for folks?
No, you said them all. You said all the ones I've been saying, of course, because you're amazing. And this is amazing, by the way. I just want to thank you guys for doing this. This is so cool that you're giving people an opportunity to party and come together and like chat and play and meet each other. And it's so cool that you're doing this. But yeah, I just think everybody, you know what, I'll say this, like, we have all this research now that the impact that you or I can have when Rosario Dawson comes out and says like everybody vote, or Kerry Washington comes out and says everybody vote, like we can have a little bit of an impact, but the real person who can impact voting behavior is you, all listeners, right? Like when people call their family members, their friends, their cousins, their roommates, when they say I want you to vote, that has so much of a bigger impact than like somebody in the public eye, a celebrity, says I want you to vote. And so like to step into that power, even if you voted, to know that reaching out in that personal way can really be the change. It's really important that people get out the vote. These decisions, these margins are going to be very narrow, so make sure that you are encouraging people to vote in ways that reflect your values and theirs.
Thank you so much for that. You know, you, American Alicia, were just doing something really similar just a couple of days ago. We need all hands on deck, and we cannot keep preaching. We couldn't preach to the choir enough about all of this. And I'm just so grateful for your voice out there and championing of everyone else's voices.
I love you. I love you so much.
I love you so much.
Barry, I just have one question for you. Have you considered, in solidarity with DC getting statehood, changing your name to Kerry Washington, DC? Have you thought about it? I think it would be nice.
I hadn't considered it, but I'm open.
Okay, good.
You know, I will. I'm gonna mull it over tonight.
Thank you. Thank you very
I
much.
think we go the other way. I think we rename the football team the Washington Carries.
I'm all
There we go.
The mascot all run up and down the field.
Great suggestion, Josh Jackson. I
The
love
Washington Carry Washingtons. I think it's perfect. Hey, boss.
We also have a lot of great comedians joining us that I would love to bring into the conversation, but I'd like to first, and this time our Celebrity Video Bank will see the video because it's coming right through our Zoom, is we have a few highlights to share from the Celebrity Video Bank because we are now being joined by Sarah Silverman. And Nikki Glazer is also, hi Sarah, good to see you by the way.
Are you naked?
Who naked, Sarah?
Oh, you've been.
Oh, not naked.
She's not naked, she's fully wearing clothes. We can see you, yes.
Who said are you naked? Oh,
Rosario, right here. I was very upset that I was left out of the naked ballot video.
That is bullshit. Rosario, I love you.
I love you so much.
Sarah, you just had a nice interaction with somebody in the video bank, I am told. And so before you say more live, why not you on tape? Can we please see a moment from the private Celebrity Video Bank calls that you can get to if you go to telethonforamerica.com and pledge right now to vote at the bottom of the homepage or to bring your friends to the polls. This is what Sarah Silverman talked about with one of our lucky voters who will be voting tomorrow. Here it comes.
I've been hounding my friends and my family members, like, please, this is a huge election, and Ohio is a really big state. We need to make sure we're all doing our part. And I wanted to make sure that I had enough time, especially with the mail-in ballot, because the world is crazy, that I could have enough time to turn it in. So I did at least 2 weeks early, counted it, make sure it was all tracked down, and we're all good to go.
Awesome. And where are you in Ohio?
I'm in Cleveland right now.
Nice.
Yeah.
I was just there in August.
Yeah. It's snowing now, so I'm sure you saw it when it was prettier than this.
Yeah, it was hot.
Yeah.
I was in Yellow Springs and we went to, is Cleveland near Yellow Springs? That's the clip. That was the clip?
That was it. I guess so. I don't know. That was, I don't think they've seen your podcast and seen your clips because you can go in.
Aaron Vaughn is dying.
All of that therapy.
I did like 4 of those, and that was like the first minute of it. That's the clip.
Sarah,
It's a tease. We want more people pledging to vote so they can get some of that.
That was an ad for that? Instead of being focused and listening, that was not me at my best, and I'm sure every celebrity on here will do better than that. That clip was terrible. I'm sorry. you know, my brain like grips onto something and it won't let go. But that was the clip. Someone's in charge of pulling a clip, and that was the clip they pulled.
Yep.
Of everything I said.
Yep.
Okay.
Would it make you feel better if we fire the person? I'll fire him right now.
I want them fired on the air. I want to see it.
Yo, your pup is following your hands for that food so hard.
Like, oh my God, I just love pizza. I was just talking about it today.
Let's see if we have a better clip in our second attempt, and my hopes are not high. We have another clip starring Nikki Glazer.
This will be probably hilarious.
A very lucky
or
vote.
poignant.
Please play this and praise God it's better. Let's see.
I afterwards I was like I wanted to cry. I like went in being like, oh whatever, vote. Like I mean I was excited, but afterwards it just felt I think my mom and I hugged, which we hadn't touched in a really long time. So that was good that it got us to connect again. We haven't since. But yeah, it just felt so good. I'm so nervous about tomorrow, but this is a nice distraction tonight.
Literally, like my anxiety this week has just been like
I know. What are you doing for it? What do you do when you get really like anxious? What are your coping mechanisms?
I hold my cat and then just don't let go until things are kind of okay. And then I just fall into an internet rabbit hole until I like black out.
Yeah. Just like you just like go on YouTube, like entertaining things or like disturbing news stuff. Like, are you staying away from news?
I try, but then I'm like, I don't want to be uninformed.
Where are you right now? Are you in your room looks so nice and goes,
She did not want to be here.
Fuzzy!
Look how much better that clip was.
Fucking clip.
That was
That's a
great.
clip. That's a
That
clip.
was so much better.
That had a cat.
Really better.
The cat wins.
Did you ever wonder, Sarah, maybe it was you. Maybe we got great producers. Maybe you phoned in the beginning of your first clip and then you really got your stride afterwards.
You know, that's true. But of the 4 meetings I had, maybe not the first 20 seconds where I'm like getting my notes and organizing things. I don't know. Maybe that's interesting, or maybe that shows my true self. You know,
No, you're always very lovely.
That on.
You're always very lovely and very focused, so I will take the blame for that. But you have to understand, we also have to need the time to then upload it to an editor, cut it, and then cut it back. So it's got to be the first call oftentimes.
Yeah.
To get on early. I'm just saying.
Yeah. No warm-up times.
I'm going to have several notes after this.
You should see the chat.
I'm going to take a look at the chat.
They're pouring in. While you go look at that, let's throw to Ed Helms, who's going to give us a little word via video.
He's here live with us. He's here live.
Oh, is he live?
There's Ed Helms right there.
Yeah. No, actually, no, I pre-taped all this. This is all pre-taped. So everything I'm saying is I pre-taped, and because I anticipated everything you were going to say, and I anticipated Sarah Silverman's amazing contribution to the history of video chatting. That was a phenomenal clip of Sarah Silverman. Sarah, I am inspired. I think I am moved, and I am deeply stirred, and I aspire to that. And don't you dare play a single clip from my chats, because they were worse than that. Every single one was worse than that. But no, I actually spoke to some really nice people, but there just was no moment that seemed particularly exciting, or a moment that I would be excited to share.
That's not what they.
Literally everyone you talk to is crying right now.
That's not. I'm saying like worthy of show business hilarity. They were wonderful, intimate conversations. We got to know each other. It was fabulous. Why am I here? What am I talking about?
Tell us about
why are any of us here? Here's what I want to talk about. There's been some pizza chat. It's very controversial. I have a very strong position that I want to put out there. I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, and I am willing to take it, because there's a lot of stuff dividing America right now, and sometimes stuff's just too important. You got to take a stand. I think that Hawaiian pizza is awesome.
I knew it. I knew
And
it. I knew you were going to go there.
a lot of people. This is very divisive. This is actually torn my family apart. But I do believe that pineapple belongs on pizza, and I'm gonna stand by that. John,
You know, it's good to have the extra electrolytes to help it all go down.
let me say 2 words about gerrymandering, because that's also a thing, and it's also a terrible thing. Gerrymandering, in case you don't know, here I'm actually going to read a definition because gerrymandering is a practice intended to establish an unfair political advantage for a particular party or group by manipulating district boundaries. What does that mean? Well, basically, think of it this way. Like you're at why is John DiMaggio's video highlighted? John, I love you. Why are you? I'm talking. What's going on?
That's a great question. I don't think he is highlighted, but well, maybe he's.
Oh, okay.
Listen, I'll just lip sync what
You
you're
just have
saying
to
if you want.
unpin him.
Lip sync what I'm saying. No, where was I? Gerrymandering, pizza. This is all related. The gerrymander. Think of gerrymandering this way. If you, John's nailing it. If you were at a football game and your favorite team like drove all the way down the field and they scored a touchdown and you were like, I'm more entertained by John than anybody. No one else can see that.
No one else can see it. I'm going to explain what's happening.
I'm going to stop referencing
Pause your
that.
gerrymandering. I just spotlighted him. You don't update your Zoom, so that when you didn't update your Zoom, it jumps to all kinds of weird shit when you didn't update your Zoom. I'm blaming you, Ed Helms. I'm blaming Sarah. I'm not blaming us. I'm not taking any of the responsibility on our shoulders. Just so you know, stay focused. Or put it on gallery mode and tell us about gerrymandering, please.
Okay, you got it.
Gerrymandering is an asshole. I don't like Jerry. Gerrymandering. That guy is such a prick. I will say.
I don't know what's happening. John, I love you. Okay. I was telling you, I had a great metaphor. I was doing this football thing. I'll just finish that real quick. Let's say your favorite team scores a touchdown and you're like, yay, we got 7 points. We're going to win the game. And then the referee is like, actually, we redrew the end zone. And the place where that your guy ran into the end zone, that's not part of the end zone anymore. And you don't get those points and you don't win. In fact, you lose. That's called, that's cheating. And that's what gerrymandering is. It's a terrible thing. All I'm saying is educate yourselves about this phenomenon because it's it is the opposite of democracy, and yet it is ubiquitous. Vote for the people who don't like it. There are some people who like it, and there are some people who don't like it. Vote for the ones who are going to get rid of it. And that's also why Represent Us is a phenomenal organization, because they are fighting gerrymandering tooth and nail. And so, yeah, there you go. I've taken up too much of your time.
No, not possible. But that was really awesome. And I think that's really critically important. You got to think about exactly that end zone. Suddenly people just redrawing maps like this. So you got places like Iowa, which is a really particularly big state in this election. And they have a lot of state legislature seats that are up. And if certain of those seats change in a different direction, we're going to have people exactly like you were saying who are going to be voting against that. And we might have fair elections then moving forward because they will actually represent properly the districts that people live in. So these are the kinds of things that are on the ballot. You know, when people talk about down ballot races and down ballot issues, these are the kinds of things that you can find that's happening in your state that you could be voting on that could be really instrumental in communities being heard moving forward. So thank you so much for that.
Hey, right. I think what you said was even better.
That's not
right
true.
on. Thanks for having me. That's
Ed,
very
have
cool.
you ever, Ed, can I ask you one quick pizza related question?
Absolutely.
Have you ever tried something, no one else that I know has done this, have you ever tried pizza with banana slices on it? Because I think it's fantastic.
What are you doing?
Cheese pizza.
Yeah, that's
It's sacrilegious. Ben, that's fucking sacrilegious. Nobody ever puts.
This just got ugly.
You just pissed the guy off from Jersey, for Christ's sakes. You never put banana or you don't put fruit on pizza.
John?
Ed, what have you done?
Nah.
John?
Well, I'm sorry,
John?
Ed.
Give it a chance. I've never had that, Ben. It sounds horribly disgusting, but I will try it. I will try it because I believe in fruit on pizza. I love a Hawaiian pizza. I will try anything, and I will put it up against any. John, you and I, we're
All
gonna
you
have
have
a
to do is all you have to do is compartmentalize your mouth. I just saw Sarah Silverman nodding in agreement. Sarah, have you tried this? Are you open?
I believe in fruit with pizza and fruit with cheese. I believe in cheese with bread, and I believe in fruit with cheese.
No, that's fair.
This is the 10 Commandments. These are Sarah's 10.
Fair.
Melted cheese over apples. Put
Raclette.
Best
Yeah.
pizza, taco pizza.
All right.
Muting.
Know that Jackie Tone is here with us, and Jackie is in the state of Florida, an important swing state in this election. And I wanted to know if Jackie might be able to just perhaps improvise a song for us about elections or voting, whatever you can come up with. Of course, Jackie, one of the stars of the great show Glow on Netflix. Jackie, how are you, my friend?
Guys, I'm medium at best. Is anybody better than that?
Oh.
If you're better than that, something is wrong. I just want to second how deeply unfair I think it is that you showed that shit clip of Sarah, the funniest, hottest woman to ever live.
That's fair. That is fair. Yeah, I'm going to tell the producers right now, can we get a better clip of Sarah Silverman, please, to redeem ourselves?
Sabotage.
Honestly, Sarah, it's full sabotage. I was like get on the edge of my seat, like, what's Sarah gonna say? And then I was like, that fucking was upsetting.
I'm sorry about that. I don't know how it
And I
felt.
don't have anything more important to discuss. Like, I don't even know what tomorrow is anymore because I'm that upset about that clip.
Oh, can we maybe? What?
Oh, I was gonna say, that said, I could sing you a song.
Yeah, I would love if you could just improvise a song about elections, anything related to that, just to change the topic from the terrible clip if possible.
Oh, man. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3. I want to check in and make sure that you remember Election Day's a day away, the 3rd of November. On the fence about voting? Okay, here's a hot take. This one's a kind of big one. Our democracy's at stake. When you do your civic duty, yo, nothing feels sicker. If you're not going to do it for yourself, then do it for the sticker. I cast my vote, I cast my vote, I cast it. Hot damn, now I can gloat on Instagram. Give me a hell yeah and some verbal affection. You're gonna play your part in this election. All ballots in the box, let's make some noise. We deserve to be heard, our vote is our voice. Hey, I know you have your reasons why you haven't partook, but I've heard every single damn excuse in the book. You say, I'm busy. Oh, you're busy. Oh, that brings me to tears. You can't find 10 minutes once every 2 years. You say, I'm undecided. Yo, that can't be true. Just vote for a decent dude that values what you value. You say, what's the difference? Nothing's gonna change. But as you know, if you don't vote, you can't complain. And complaining is my very, very number one favorite part. You say, what does it matter? You give me a hell yeah. Some of her affection. Hell yeah!
Hell yeah! Hell yeah!
Take your part in this election. All ballots in the box, let's make some noise. We deserve to be heard. Our vote is our voice. Now, I vote because I'm important and my opinion matters. I vote because I want to see the glass ceiling shattered. I vote because I want there to be clean air for my children. I don't have kids, but I would like clean air for your children. So get on the ball like volley or tether. I'll give you one word. Come on, let's say it together now. Vote. Hey, that's the one I was referring to. Vote. Hey, you have a choice. Vote. All right, I'm going to say it so many times. Vote, 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 vote. Here we go. Bring it home. Give me a hell yeah. And some affection.
Hell yeah!
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah!
Hell yeah.
Election. Hell yeah. Let's make some noise. We deserve to be heard. Our vote is our voice. Our vote is our voice. Our vote is our vote.
Damn.
Oh yeah.
Advisor.
Fully improvised was not reading a text edit .rtf off my screen. Fully improvised.
Freestyle!
Hey, baby, freestyle!
That was very good improv. Very, very good improv.
Don't let your silence ring louder than your vote.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my God. Why didn't you text me that beforehand? I would have put it.
I got you, girl. I got you.
Rosario, I think your friend Diane Guerrero is here with us. I don't know if she's available to join us right now and say hello.
That would be awesome. We just did an amazing PSA together.
Hi, Diane.
Hi.
Thank you for being here with us. How has your night been so far?
I'm okay. I'm okay. I think we're gonna win. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
By we, you mean America. You mean America's going to win no matter what happens? Democracy prevails.
No, I mean we're gonna win.
Humankind, the human race will always end up on top.
She's like, did I stutter?
I am a host with certain responsibilities, and I think you know what I'm saying here. Okay, great. Have you talked to any voters so far tonight?
No, I haven't.
Oh, we got to get you in some calls as soon as this is done.
Yeah, get me in there.
I love that. Some video chats rather. So tell us, why is voting important to you? What does this election mean to you? And please be as nonpartisan as possible.
What does this election mean to me? This election means life. Really, it means
I hope that kooky write-in that one guy thought was hilarious wins.
Are you talking about Kanye West, Doug? That's Doug Stanhope joining us.
Oh wait, you can hear me?
Hey,
Yes,
You can hear me. I took an edible 2 hours ago when I thought I was going to be talking to people, and now I think.
Honestly, Doug,
I don't even have a list, and I think it's fucking listening to me.
Doug, you've been caught on a hot mic. That is the best, cleanest, most normal thing we could have overheard. We got very lucky there.
No, I've been silent the whole time. So do I turn this off?
No, talk to us. Talk to us.
Okay.
Stanhope, meet Diane Guerrero, Jackie Tone, Rosario Dawson.
I don't know. Hey, thanks for having me. I was terrified that you would go to me because I thought I was just going to be talking to voters in private rooms. Hey, there's Dom Herrera. Oh my God, Dom!
Let's bring Dom in.
On Paul stroke.
I love it. I love it.
So the only thing I want to tell you this: every one of you has a stupid friend, at least one, that will do whatever you tell him to do. So just tell all your dumb friends. The dumbest of you listening has dumber people that will listen to what you say. So just tell them to vote one way. Lie to them. There's nothing wrong with misinformation when you're just making your dumb friends vote to impress you, especially hot chicks. And Ben Glebe, I wanted to talk to you.
Yeah,
just told the guy in a voter room. When Alyssa Milano is talking about all the trolls that fuck with her and say the most horrible thing, at the same time, I was stopping myself from tweeting how hot Melissa Alano is, because I thought I'd get more in trouble for talking about her appearance than all the fucking trolls that call her a libtard or whatever. Find stupid people, make them vote.
I love that. That was a very interesting turn for the end of your message. And I'm sure Melissa Alano probably appreciates her.
Oh, Melissa Alano, the next time.
And how beautiful she is.
And her horrible things on Twitter. Maybe take the "I'm hot" thing as a compliment.
Being hot. I don't know being hot.
I'm woke enough to say to not say you're hot for your age. I'm that woke.
Wow.
Really good. Really impressive, Doug. Very nice.
Diane, what do you think of this winning strategy of reaching out to folks
Who don't get it?
who don't get it? Yeah, that's a nicer way to say it.
I don't know. I think it's hard. I think it's like bad for my mental health. So, but if you have the stamina and you can do it, if you have the brain power, then yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. I think that's one of the things I've loved and this whole thing is like the folks who are like, no, you can use Google, step away from me. And the other folks who are like, I'll answer, I'll be the black friend online for you to answer this particular question or woman's question or whatever it is.
I'd
We
like to
all
bring in
participate in
sorry.
our own special way. Oh, sorry. I was just saying that we all can participate in our own special way.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm really cool in the chat, Diane.
No, that is
Diane,
true.
I want to say, you've been I love the video you just did recently on Measure J. I obviously really appreciate the PSA that we did together. It was like a sexy voting PSA about safe voting, safe consensual voting. And I just want to say you've really leaned in, particularly and using your voice, maybe not targeting low information voters as instructed, but just really reaching out and just using your platform to really educate people and give people access and to break through all the noise and misinformation. I just want to say thank you.
Thank
And
you.
Diane.
Access and opportunity so we can live full lives. Access and opportunity.
100%. And Diane, thank you for saying that. It is so true. It's all about how each person can contribute. Not everybody has the same abilities or platform or point of view, but if everybody can just contribute in some way, just to the betterment of the country, to the betterment of the world, that's how we move forward. And I have a friend here. Doug. Was that Doug?
That's not me.
Oh,
That's
okay.
not me.
I have a friend here who is a hilarious person who is pretty amazing at people who don't get it, putting them in their place, and that's Steve Hofstetter. You're known for destroying anybody that's ignorant and not woke. So what's your advice to dealing with people who don't get it?
On a bipartisan Zoom, nothing.
Fair enough.
Well, no, right now I'm actually still an undecided voter because I desperately need attention. I think the honest advice is calmly speak to them, and if you think that they're beyond getting it, then block them. But the idea of angrily arguing with someone is never going to change their mind.
Yep, that's not at all what I do late night on Twitter. So thank you for years of my life. That is very painful to hear.
Me neither, Ben. Me neither.
We've also got Baron Vaughn. Baron, how do you deal with idiots that don't know what's up? How do you deal with it?
I am way too busy trying to figure out what Doug is saying. No, how do I deal? Well, I mean, I just stopped going home. Is to my mother's husband. If you can tell, he's been in my life since I was a single-digit age. Still refer to him as my mother's husband. Call him by a first name. You can only talk to people to a certain extent. You know what I mean? So it's like you have to have empathy and you have to have understanding. But the fact of the matter is that people gonna do what they gonna do, and if you can't bring them to the quote-unquote light, then perhaps you gotta go back into the dark. That's what I do in the bed, and I put my head under the covers.
Okay, so then let me get some advice from one of the legendary comedians who is more empathetic than anybody I've ever known, Mr. Dom Irera. Dom, how do you deal with idiots, people that don't see it the way that you really see it? Where'd you go? You disappeared on me? There you are.
This woman right here. What a great voice you have. Could she be?
Whoa, thanks, Dom. That means a lot to me. I've loved you since I was a kid. Hey, dude.
You don't have to hurt me now. Love you. My grandfather used to take me to see you. What happened? I was singing at Kanye West.
Dom, I have a serious question for you, Dom.
Yeah, serious.
This is 2020. It's the 100th anniversary of women gaining the right to vote in 1920. So especially this year, we hope we get a historic turnout among women in this nation to just prove how y'all are taking things over. The future is female. I see it on T-shirts everywhere. What was it like being there on that historic day in 1920, Dom?
Well, it's funny you should say that because I was in a hate group then, and I got. Look at all this love here. Oh, you guys, you have so much energy. I anything for people except dinner. That's it. You like that energy to give. I don't have. Sarah, you have it. You actually think about people. I don't give a shit. But tonight I care. Tonight, seriously, after seeing you people who came out, Adam, in one of his disguises, I still recognize him. And Doug, always a sweet thing, always a good-hearted Doug. And I
Adam
see you guys,
Ray right there. Hey, Adam.
Adam Ray.
Adam, you're in Australia right now shooting a movie. Is that correct?
Oh yeah, it's normal life down here. You can not wear a mask and see someone on the street, and you can see their face as they go across the street to you. Amazing.
You're shooting a movie on the life of The Rock. Is that correct?
Yeah,
a TV series on the life of The Rock.
Yeah, because that's I think when push came to shove, everybody was like, how can we? What's the best way to distract us all? I'm like, let's find out.
Adam.
How grew up. Yeah.
Adam, tell them about your aunt. Adam, tell them about your aunt.
About
your aunt.
Don loves. I have a 96-year-old aunt named Shirley.
He's just looking down. He's just heavy lids.
Doug, so we still hear something.
Shit, I'm on it.
Yep, still on.
I was taking back everything I.
Now we spotlight you. Now you're muted. All right, we got to end this. It's really nice talking to you guys. We have to move on to another thing. Our host, Rosario Dawson, the lovely Rosario Dawson, has got to talk to you about how you can get a ride to the polls if maybe you can't afford one. Rosario, please take it away.
Yes, thank you. Though I was really wondering where that was going. I co-founded a voting organization called Voto Latino in 2004. This year, we crested over 1 million people that we have registered. We helped to co-found National Voter Registration Day. And, in this election alone, we've registered over 260,000 people in Texas. So we're always about it. We're a year-round organization, and we have grown to have some really amazing partnerships over the years. And one of them is with Lyft. So for folks who are needing a ride to the polls, please do not take a distance being a factor. In places like Texas, there have been a lot of closures of polling places because of COVID. There are a lot of folks who tend to be on the older side of the spectrum, who have refrained from being poll watchers and poll workers. We've got a lot of youth who've come in, but we still have over 20,000 polling places that are just not in existence. And so for a lot of people have to go a really far distance. So you can use discount code 2020VOTE for 50% off of a Lyft ride. So 2020, the number's 2020VOTE, and you can get a 50% discount on your Lyft ride. So you don't have to break your bank to go out there and vote. Please don't let distance be an issue or that stops you from going to vote. Please pass that on to folks. There are a lot of folks that are differently abled, people who are older, and hopefully people are going together in some kind of community and have a voting pod. But if not, please know that you have this opportunity to use 2020VOTE Lyft discount code for 50% off on your ride. What's up, Doug? You got something to say about that?
Oh, wait, I'm still on? Are you fucking kidding me? I thought you ditched us.
Watch the F-bombs. This is on television. Holy Lord, Doug.
I was just putting in the chat that I sell merch after this whole telethon. If you want a Doug Scannell pint glass or something.
Doug,
we're not making any money on this telethon. Neither are you. Okay.
Correct.
But
also, Doug, looking at the way you look right now,
physically outside of this chat at a table, a folding banquet table, and I'm selling the photos. I do 8x10 photos of my younger years. I have VHS tape. I'll be right outside. Just shoot me. I'm way too high
Doug,
here.
Doug, can I be honest with you?
Dumb.
Doug,
What?
The way that you look and sound right now, it doesn't feel like you sell merch. It feels like you sell meth. Can I be honest with you?
No, I'm high and drunk. I had to do Roseanne's podcast for an hour and a half before this. I'm hammered.
Perfect. I love that. I'd like to remind people that if you are hammered, you can also take Lyft to get home. It's a safe way to do it.
Hang on. Alyssa Milano is calling me on my cell phone.
It's her or it's her lawyers. One of the two. We don't know. It is vote.
My point was, and I put it in the chat, and I got a little bit off topic with the Alyssa Milano. Hot chicks, you can make 1,000 guys vote just by acting like you're interested in them tomorrow, telling them who to vote for, and don't call them back on Wednesday.
Smart.
That's what I was trying to say. I got
strategy.
confused with the Alyssa Milano being hot.
Very
I'm
smart.
not sure that's a winning strategy, but maybe we should go to last year's or 2 years ago's previous co-host.
Yes, I'm very excited.
Little Miss Olivia Munn, who's
Yes.
got a little message for us to share. Let's go.
How do I mute myself so I don't fuck this up again?
Hey everyone, welcome to Telethon for America. I am your host, Olivia Munn. Joining me tonight.
I feel like Olivia would have had a better comeback. We're just gonna cut to
What
her.
do you
Let's
mean
see
I've
if
been
she does.
replaced by Rosario Dawson? I mean, yeah, she's a total badass, but what I don't understand is why I'm not just hosting with her. Who? Oh, because it's his show? Okay, so wait, what do you want me to say? Just let everyone know that election day is tomorrow and that the future of our country depends on them voting? Yeah, I got it. Hey guys, so election day is tomorrow and the future of our country really depends on you voting. And you can pledge to do so at telethonforamerica.com. All right, gonna be a big, fun, exciting night. I'm gonna send it back to, what's his name?
That is hurtful. Honestly, it's a little hurtful, okay? Because I thought we were very close. And whatever, it's fine. My dear friend Brad Williams is here, or maybe he barely remembers my name as well. How you doing, Brad? You're muted, Brad. You're muted. You are muted. Something we wish we could do with Doug Stanhope, and we can't. We can only mute Brad Williams when we want him to talk. Hey, buddy.
Yeah, how you doing, Richard? Doing good.
Love it. Are you voting tomorrow, or have you already voted?
I have already voted, and it was a wonderful experience, and I'm very glad that this is happening, so we can actually teach people and educate people, because education is what's so important right now, whether it be about voting, whether it be about COVID. Just today, I was in a grocery store, and here's how much people don't know about COVID. A kid saw me, and yelled out in a crowded grocery store, "Look what it did to him!" Man. Yeah, so this kid thought I was walking around pre-COVID like 6'4", just like loving life. And then someone sneezed on me, and it was like Super Mario hitting a Goomba, just do. It was bad.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you for being here, Brad. Have you been going into breakout rooms and talking to voters?
Yeah, I love talking to people. I love seeing people's homes. It's very creepy. I thoroughly enjoy it. Some people have way nicer homes than me, and now I'm incredibly jealous.
It happens, my friend. It happens. Well, thank you for being here. We're going to get you in some more voting rooms, some more voter rooms with all of you as well. But I'd like to now kick to a serious
Fortune Feimster, and I recently got married to my partner of 5 years during a pandemic in a tiny ceremony while our parents watched on Zoom. Now, I had always planned on marrying my amazing partner, Jax, but we never anticipated doing it so quickly. However, after the death of Bader Ginsburg and the probability of a 6-3 conservative Supreme Court, which is now a reality, we felt like we had no choice, and we wanted to get married while we legally were within our right to do so. Now, hopefully, marriage equality is here to stay, but it is certainly being. In fact, the rights of the LGBT community are being threatened in general just by the direction that this country's been. and we refuse to let hate win, because love will always prevail, my friends. It will. Love will prevail. Ice cream will prevail, unless you are lactose intolerant. And in that case, I'm so very sorry for you. But listen, I'm a comedian. That's what I do. And nothing more than to be here tonight and make all of you laugh, tell some funny jokes. But it's the biggest election of our lives. And I'm here to tell you that you all have to take this seriously, because equality is on the ballot this year. So many things are. It's 2020, and it's time that we let love win. So don't screw this up. America, get out there and vote. Then get you some ice cream and dance, because you earned it. Woo! Shoulder shimmy, flip your hair, whatever you want. Just go vote. Woo!
Hey folks, Ray Romano here. I'm in my house. It's Sunday. It's the middle of football. My identical twin boys, they take over my office to watch football. They kick me out. I think their team's lost already. They're a little upset, but I don't care. I'm going to crash because I need to find out something important. Look at these guys. Look at these guys sitting in my office all day. Matt, I got a question for you. What are you going to do Tuesday?
I'm going to vote on Tuesday.
Greg? Going to vote? There you go. That's why I let them get away with this stuff, because they're doing the right thing. And we all should. Go to America. Go to
The trust in our government is now at record lows. The United States is currently near the bottom of the list, number 26 out of 32 leading democracies in the world, for voter turnout. And with an anti-democracy decade that started with the Supreme Court's 2010 Citizens United decision and continued with its 2013 Shelby decision, my generation is the first to witness America become less democratic, forced to contend with the outsized influence of corporations and big money in politics, and the most voter suppression since the Jim Crow era. This is why Represent Us exists. We've been quietly building a fiercely nonpartisan grassroots movement of people, conservatives, progressives, and everyone in between, who are putting aside their differences and changing laws that seem wonky, but have a profound impact. Anti-gerrymandering, removing barriers to voting, campaign finance reform, and ranked choice voting, among others. Why? Because if it isn't already obvious, corruption thrives in a broken system. Extremism thrives in a broken system. Racism thrives in a broken system. Authoritarianism thrives in a broken system. But here's the good news. Our movement is catching fire. In 2018, we won more pro-democracy and anti-corruption reforms at the state and local level, in red and blue states alike, than at any point in U.S. history. And there are even more of these reforms on the ballot tomorrow, be it ranked choice voting in Massachusetts and Alaska, anti-gerrymandering in Virginia and Missouri, or campaign finance reform in Oregon and Alaska. So join us in this chiefly intersectional movement of movements to unrig the system before it's too late. Thank you, and may the better angels of our nature prevail once again.
How incredible is Ronaldo Pearson, everybody? Amazing. A round of applause for Ronaldo Pearson, if we can. Nobody? Just one? Okay, fair enough.
The host was
muted. They were muted. They were Ronaldo Pearson. Creative director of Represent Us. Stole my look is my only complaint there, to be honest with you. We are going to bring now live on stage here at Nowhere Comedy. They have a show right here, actually. You can get tickets at nowherecomedyclub.com. This Saturday, they're at Podcast Dumb People Town with their special guest, John Hamm. You also know them from the show Glow, from Better Call Saul. Please give a warm welcome to the Sklar Brothers. Woo!
Keep it going for Ben Glebe.
Yeah.
Ben Glebe.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi, y'all.
Guys, I just read this today. The pandemic
got picked up for another season.
Just got picked up for another season. Not happy about that.
It was a mid-season replacement. It's crushing everything,
it.
crushing life. And if we keep mishandling it, it'll go into syndication,
which we do not want.
No, we
do
don't.
not want it to go into syndication. Don't want it to be the new 2.5 Men.
Nope.
Okay.
So listen, we know that
here's an excuse we've heard from a lot of people about why they don't want to go to the polls.
it's going to take hours.
I'm gonna be in line for so long.
gonna be
It's
the whole-
already a long line, but now we got the thing
It's
with
going to
the
be the 6 feet, and I can't.
We're going to talk directly to the parents of little children right now. All right. Don't look at this as hours at a polling place.
Just enjoy it. You know,
Enjoy it.
listen to a book on tape. Take
Yes.
a podcast in. Join a Trump train if you have to.
If you
stop
have
a
to
bus.
if that keeps you away from your kids for another
If
hour,
that
do
means
that.
you don't have to help your 10th grader write an AP history exam about the caste system in India.
I'm already asleep.
We're on
I'm
it.
already asleep.
We're in
You
it.
said that, I'm already asleep. Randy, I know. We
each have 2 kids,
and that is too many kids. That's what we've realized in this pandemic. It's too many kids.
The only good thing about having 2 kids is that if anybody has less than you and they complain about anything and you're within earshot, you're allowed to leave the conversation that you're in, walk over to them, and rip them a new asshole.
And that feels really good.
Heartache, yes. A friend of ours was on stage, comedian. He was doing a 15-minute set about how his one 17-month-old kid was ruining his life.
How hard it was to raise one 17-month-old
How
child.
difficult his life had become. Now, Jay and I are the most supportive comedians ever.
We are.
Comedians will tell you, they come off stage all the time. We're like, I love that bit.
That's a great joke.
Here's the tag.
I just wrote a tag for
I'm
his
tagging
tag.
his
I'm tagging
jokes.
you haven't even
I'm tagging
written yet.
tags that
It's a
haven't even
tagging
tagged yet.
vortex over
Here's
here.
the headline. Keep doing.
That's what we tell everybody.
Okay. This guy got off stage after doing a 15-minute set about how his one 17-month-old kid was ruining his life. Jay and I were backstage. We were like,
you got to shut the fuck up.
Get out of comedy.
Get out of comedy.
For everybody.
One 17-month-old kid. You're a parent like an optometrist is a doctor.
Barely.
You're barely a
parent. You're a doctor like Dr. Dre is a doctor.
Barely.
Barely.
I don't even know if he practices.
Small gynecology.
Dr. Dre has a small gynecology practice.
Yeah.
Where?
City of Compton.
City of Compton.
City of
City of
Compton.
Compton. Okay. One 17-month-old kid. If you don't know what a 17-month-old kid is, we'll explain it to you, okay? It's a dog that occasionally talks. That's all a 17-month-old kid is.
Magical dog.
And you can't handle that.
Then I love our friends that just have pets and they can't handle that.
Yeah,
That's
the pet is too much.
too overwhelming for them. You're like, hey, man, we're getting a drink after the show. You want to come with us? Nah, I got to get home and let the dog out. It's my baby.
It's my boy.
It's my baby.
It's like raising
It's
a
like
child.
raising a kid.
It's exactly like raising a child.
We're like, is it?
If you can tie it up while you go have brunch, it's not a kid. It's
not a kid.
Okay?
No.
That's not a kid.
You can pay good money to watch it fight another one to the death.
It is not a kid. If it runs away and 2 weeks later you're like, let's just get another one and call it the same name. It is not a kid.
No. If you can openly masturbate in front of it,
It is not a kid. I don't know why we brought that up. If it turns 15 and you're thinking about putting it to sleep, that actually is a kid.
Yes,
that is
that
a
is a
horrible.
Speed put down. That's right. I feel like everybody during the pandemic has been like cleaning out their houses and just cleaning out where you live to just make your space more livable. That's just what we're doing. I have a 15-year-old daughter, and I cleaned out all the books we used to read to her from her bookshelf when she was really little. What I realized is the books we used to read to our kids when they were really little are terrible.
But you don't care because they're just tools you use to put them to sleep. And that's all you're doing when you have little kids is just put her down. Put her down.
Put her down like she's a horse with a broken leg.
Put her
Take
down.
back and put her
down.
Just woke up from a nap 20 minutes ago. Put her back
Put her
down
down
again.
right
Put her
now.
Execution style.
Put her down.
Right? Got a whole shelf full of fairy tales. Now, I have not read these books in like 13. I can't believe these are the stories that stood the test of time.
Fairy tales are crazy stories. They're wildly inappropriate for kids.
They're insane, and they read like police blotters in the state of Florida.
Yes,
Okay.
they do.
They do. If you were to put the phrase "a Florida man" or "a Florida woman" in front of the plot of a fairy tale, totally works.
Totally works, right? Florida woman breaks into a house, eats their food, breaks a chair, and then is found passed out in the kid's bed. That's Goldilocks meth in Tampa Bay. That's exactly what that is.
Florida man kisses a dead woman, then tries to marry her.
What is that?
That is ecstasy in Orlando.
Ecstasy in Orlando.
Yeah, is
Okay.
what
All
that
right. Florida woman lures 2 children to her house using breadcrumbs with hopes of eating their faces off. That is bath salts in Pensacola. Okay.
Florida woman gets a DUI for trying to drive a pumpkin. That's everywhere in Florida all the time.
Although it is the last thing we'll say. It is fun to think of Cinderella as a Florida woman getting pulled over by the cops at 12:10 that night.
Ma'am, get down from the pumpkin.
Get out of the pumpkin.
Get out of the. Get out of the. These mice were horses 10 minutes ago. Sure they were, ma'am.
Sure they were. Yes.
Ma'am, where's your other shoe?
Where's the stripper slipper? The other stripper slipper.
It's at the palace with the prince.
Oh.
Yeah, the only prints in your future are going to be some fingerprints down at the station. Let's go.
You're
Come
going
on.
downtown. All right, that's our time. Vote, vote, vote. Thank you.
Sklar Brothers, everybody. Pretty incredible. Pretty hilarious human beings. We would like to go right now to some more amazing messages from some very interesting people. We've got a little guy, a lot of people know him as Dr. Phil, has a special message for you, followed by Josh Sundquist, and followed by Richard Green, the Civics Dean's 91-year-old mother. Let's roll the tapes.
Well, it's finally here. All the shouting, screaming, and gnashing of teeth is over, and it's election day. Be glad, right? I know there's been a lot of anxiety and a lot of stress, but the day's finally here. Most important thing is, be sure you vote. I don't care how long you have to stand in line, because I'll tell you, Robin and I voted, and when we walked out of there, I've got to say, there was a really good feeling to know that we were part of the process. We registered our vote, so we have ownership in the outcome. Be sure you do that, and be proud of the fact that you voted. And no matter what the outcome, just know that these are the United States. We've made it this far, and we'll make it further. So be proud of the fact that you're in America. Be proud of the fact that this is America, and whatever happens, we're going to work together to make it better. God bless you. Be glad we're in America.
Hi, America. It's me, Jesus. You guys have been asking me a lot of questions this year, like, when am I going to end COVID? Why did my dad create bats and people who would eat them? Just kidding, I'm not Jesus. Jesus has not, in fact, come back yet to fix 2020, although maybe he will tomorrow when he returns to vote. I am Josh Sundquist. I'm not nearly as famous as Jesus or literally anyone else on this telethon, but I am a best-selling author, Paralympian, and stand-up comedian. I'm here today to remind you about one of the most important reasons to vote: healthcare. When I was 9 years old, I was diagnosed with bone cancer and given a 50% chance to live. Had it not been for quality healthcare, my family would have lost everything. Instead, I only lost a leg, which, to be honest, is a pretty good trade for being alive, even in a year like 2020. Healthcare is always on the ballot. Visit telethonforamerica.com and tomorrow, get out and vote.
Hi, I'm Eileen Green, and I'm 91. When my grandmothers Rose and Rebecca were young, they were denied the right to vote. In 1920, the vote to ratify the 19th Amendment came down to one last state, Tennessee. The State House changes his mind at the very last minute and cast the deciding vote for women's suffrage and to ratify the 19th Amendment 100 years ago. Representative Harry Burns said that he did it for his mom, but also because he wanted to end the political slavery of women. Voting and electing just one representative can change the world. Knowing my one vote can make a difference, I have voted in every election in my life. So I want to ask my fellow women, and especially the young women, to please go vote tomorrow. Do it for my grandmothers, do it for your great grandmothers, and do it for yourself.
Unbelievable. And that's a 91-year-old woman. She looks incredible. Richard, that's your mom. Richard Green, the civics dean. You're muted, my friend. You are muted.
I love you, Richard.
We love you, Richard. Richard, you're still
That
muted. Now
that
you're unmuted.
that is my mom. I'm so proud of her, and she's been on the phone calling people all over the country to get them out to vote.
Amazing.
That's amazing.
I love it. Is that where you get it from, Richard? Because you are just always the resource for me when it comes to all things politics.
Thank you. There's one thing, and you so inspire me, Rosario. Rosario, you are incredible in terms of the information that you provide. We got to turn that off. I just want to share one thing really quickly. We can boil every single thing that we need to know about politics and about civics down to one magic number and gamify it. And that is, the magic number in America is 279. If we can get 218 members of the House of Representatives to vote for the thing that we want, whether it's healthcare, like we were talking about, or climate change, or the Equality Act, or the DREAM Act, or whatever it is, or even building a wall, and you can get 60 members of the United States Senate to do that, and then one president who is aligned with what you want for your America, that's 218 plus 60 plus 1, we can get everything. And then if we end the filibuster, which is a real possibility because a lot of the things that are vastly desired by a supermajority of Americans have been blocked, like Deborah Messing was talking about and others, we can get that down to 270, 218 plus 51 plus 1. And the incredible thing is that every single one of those things, the magic number in each of those three parts of the government, is on the ballot tomorrow. We can literally transform the government tomorrow by voting for senators and by voting for a president, and also state legislators and city councilmen and police chiefs and all of that. So I'm always inspired by the game of politics and the possibility of what we can do if we actually just vote.
Mm-hmm.
That's really beautiful, Richard. Really, really beautiful. Thank you for saying that.
Richard, yeah.
And somehow your 91-year-old mother is more technologically savvy than you. She had a full screen video and you're doing selfie style on us. There you go.
Right, well,
After the speech, you're going to correct it. Nice move.
you want me to do that again? Okay, so as I was
No,
saying,
we're good. We are very good.
Listen, my mom is the superstar. I'm sure she gets I'm glad she got the prime footage.
I love it. And Sarah Silverman, I wanted to check back in with you. Sarah, how are you doing? My friend, you look great. How are you?
Hi, I thought it was done, so I was just watching, and yeah, I'm good.
Listening and nodding. You were really into it, what Richard was talking about.
Yeah, I'm watching. I'm in between doing some homework.
And I just have a question for you, Sarah. So I went to the producers backstage here and I said, is there any chance we could get a better clip? And they said, please no, we're scared. We don't think we could make her happy. Just ask her what one of her favorite moments was from talking to voters in the private video chat. So can you tell us about someone you spoke to or a moment?
I'm not saying it was all so great. It just was like, we don't have to keep doing the bit about the clip, but I'm just saying. I was engaged. I wasn't like moving notebooks around. It was really good. I was good at it. Trust me.
I love that. Can you tell the people why you think it's important this election? Why do you think it's important to use your voice? To the 100 million approximately people that think they don't need to vote, it doesn't matter, there's no difference.
I mean, I guess your vote doesn't matter by itself. You know, it's like one person protesting down a street doesn't do much either. But unless you do that and it joins every other single vote, you're not going to be heard. You know, is that corny? I don't know. I didn't plan this. I know you're going to ask me this, but yeah, this is we're voting to keep our democracy. You know, this is a long running democracy. We have had a good run, but it isn't a given. It's something that has to be kept in check and something that has to be protected now more clearly. I mean, you know, if you, right, I've got to be bipartisan. I'm just saying, I think that people coming here seeking refuge should not be separated from their parents and put in cages. I'm just saying, I don't think we should have someone who seems to be very beholden to oligarchs. I don't think that we should have, I think we should vote people out who are in the pocket of big oil or, you know, banks and all this stuff. You know, this is people, this is our one thing we have. We have the vote, and every vote needs to be counted. But you got to vote or you can't complain. And this is a real crucial time. We've got somebody
100%.
who really needs to win to stay out of jail. He really has to win.
Of course, you're talking about Joe Biden.
And there are, you know, the mentality out there when you go, how do people lie? Or they know they're lying, or how do people cheat or do things like gerrymandering? And I think it's because in their minds, they think what they're doing is
Adam
righteous,
McKay.
and no matter how they get it, no matter how if they cheat or steal, it doesn't matter because winning has to happen. And I don't really know what I'm saying. Is this live? We'll let it in.
Can I say something there, Sarah? Because there's people that are watching probably that love what you said and are inspired by it. And there's definitely people that are watching and saying, this is BS, this is supposed to be nonpartisan. But let me just address that quickly. And I think the crux of what you said is very accurate. It does not need to be a partisan thing, nor is it, nor should it ever be, to stand for what is right. There is right and wrong objectively in this world, and that is separate of the parties. That is, both parties should be on the side of not being in the bed of oligarchs, and both parties should be in the side of not putting children in cages. Of course, that is something that we can all come together on. So in a historical moment in our nation and world's history, when people who have this tyrannical nature are taking over across the globe, it should be every citizen's duty to stand against that. The erosion of our democracy, we can stand against that, Republican and Democrat alike.
Here's the thing, the unfortunate thing is it's very hard to argue or debate or have conversations with people because we are living in a time where we don't have a shared truth. There's no baseline truth. We are being given news through algorithms that see who we follow and what news outlets we read, and are telling us completely different news stories. And we have a group of people who, and a leader who points to others and accuses them of doing what he does. And so it's very hard. The best thing we can do to help from being divided is just to connect in any way we can. There's no point in arguing, but we have to try to love each other. And if we can connect, we're all connected, then people are more open. Their porcupine needles aren't up. And, you know, when we're in fear, this is a proven thing, we make more conservative choices. I mean, even this person that I voted for and I hope makes it in is a fairly conservative choice for liberals, you know? I mean, so we're all very scared and we're a little bit paralyzed and we're very closed. I don't know.
No, can I just say I love you. You know, you started this earlier by talking about people who are in the pocket of others. And I think that's when we talk about having a surge of voters. Yes, maybe that one individual vote, though, believe me, there are many elections that happen where just a handful of votes flip it one way or the other. But in this one, I think it's a clear across the board for everyone that there needs to be a really definitive answer. So everyone should be on the side of every vote counts and counting every vote, and having everyone be able to really to see what that surge is, so that whoever is elected knows that they're in the pocket of the people.
Yeah, and that's how it's supposed to be. And I think it's just as simple as that. Vote for candidates who want your vote to count.
Awesome.
Absolutely. And
we
also,
got-
just one quick thing, Rosario, I just want to tag on with this too, because no doubt when you speak about these things, you're going to get criticism. And I just want to make clear that we truly, truly believe that all perspectives are valid and all sides of the political spectrum should be heard when it comes to issues that aren't about morality, when it comes to issues about fiscal policy. Debate it till we're blue in the face. We'll never agree, and we shouldn't. We need countervailing forces in our world to be able to hold certain progress back from going too fast. That's fine.
Morality is subjective too, my friend.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, I also like,
Sure.
again, when you're talking about we're not sharing the same truth, we're all being way too siloed from each other. And what we really need is debate and conversation and to get into the weeds of these issues rather than just arguing for our team blue or team red.
And
but
that's-
actually getting into these issues and figuring out robust ways to deal with these issues, because every state, every city, every town, every makeup of this different beautiful nation is very different, and we have to approach all of these issues in a multifaceted way. So having this division is stopping progress on all fronts.
And I said that because I just wanted to finish the important point that we definitely had some people that lean right on this show tonight, but we went out to many more, and some confirmed and then dropped out. And so we're trying to have the conversation. Just please know that it's a genuine effort to speak to both sides and
All sides.
All sides.
All sides, because there's more than one. You'll see that when you actually get your ballot, there's quite a few people to vote for, and there's a lot of different parties to even vote for that don't normally get the time in the media, but actually do exist and are fighting everything from working families and beyond. Speaking of different,
non-binary for a long time. Sorry, Rosario.
Non-binary. We are not binary.
But
Speaking
Rosario,
of
can I say
different
something?
voices, yeah, Richard, go on.
That's absolutely true. And I actually ran for Congress on the Green Party many years ago. But the Green Party, for example, and these other independent parties may in fact take votes away from the candidate that you otherwise want. And until we have ranked choice voting, that's not a smart thing to do tomorrow in a swing state, in a presidential or a Senate race that's going to be decided potentially by a few votes. George W. Bush won the state of Florida and therefore the 2000 election by 537 votes. Ralph Nader, the Green Party candidate in 2000, had, yes, Sarah, I love Ralph
voted
Nader.
for Ralph Nader that year, and I'm really sorry, everybody.
Thank you.
Yeah, there you go. He had over 90,000 votes. And so had Ralph Nader decided to run in other states and not swing states, Al Gore, the most environmental president we could have ever elected at that time, would have been president for 4 or 8 years. And
Or
it's all your fault,
George
Sarah.
W. Bush could have been president even more officially, and he could have been more cowboy-like and done all of his stuff. It's nonpartisan. The point is, once it gets down to two candidates, it's a little silly in the last end throes of the election. It's like trying to root for the Astros in the World Series that just finished. They're not in the World Series. So vote for one of the two teams that's still viable.
Well, I'm really glad, again, we're not trying to shame any voters, because the thing is we got 100 million people who might not even vote at all, who are already registered. And so we don't want to push them away because they could still make their voices heard. We still have 21 states where people can actually register and vote on the same day tomorrow. And what we want to do is just have a robust electorate who shows up, so that it's not just about, that 500 over here, or they should have done that. You got to make sure that everyone feels like their voice matters and that they should and can vote. But I think it's really important what you just brought up, Richard, about ranked choice voting, and these being the kinds of things that everything from reimagining or changing the electoral college, whatever, are the kinds of stuff that exist moving forward that doesn't have to stay the same. Change is possible in so many different ways, and I think ranked choice voting would be a really remarkable one. Since we're talking about different voices in different spaces, I'd love to share. We'd love to share some videos coming up. Stay tuned in the very end. Craig Robinson has a very special, heartfelt message to share with everyone. It's really, really beautiful. You know him from The Office and so many things. He's incredible. But first, we're going to go to a video from Alicia Keys. And then I think Adam McKay has something that he wants to say to us.
Man, I gotta vote tomorrow. Yay! The line's gonna be crazy. And what if I don't fill in the paper right and the dots? What if I mess it up? Or what if they run out of stickers and then nobody even knows I voted anyway? Does my one little vote even make a difference?
Alicia, come on. What are you talking about? You're amazing. You can do this. Plus, you stand in long lines at the grocery store all the time. So just get yourself together, get a mask, get your ID, get your hand sanitizer, and let's go make some beautiful noise.
Little Alicia, you always were so wise. You're right. I'm gonna do it.
And remember, there's no I in America.
No, there is an I in America.
Where?
Oh, it's like in the middle, toward the end.
Oh yeah, there is an I. Anyway, you know what I mean. Let's get it together. Use your voice.
Hi, Adam McKay here in the back of a scout van. We are working on a movie amidst all this insanity. But I just wanted to take a second to tell everyone if there's anyone out there who's left, who's on the fence about voting, please vote. Do it safely, wear a mask, social distance, but man, oh man, this election, among all others, is, they always say, biggest of our lifetime. This one really is. Future of democracy could be in the balance. So just encouraging you to get out there and use your constitutional right to cast a ballot for the leader of your choice and the leaders of your choice. And thank you so much. Be safe and remember to vote wearing a mask, social distance, all that stuff. All right. I hope you're safe and well.
Hi, Christine Baskets here. Be sure you vote tomorrow. Your vote really counts. I don't care who you vote for, but just vote. And try to look nice when you go to the polls. It matters.
Hey, it's Anthony Scaramucci, former White House Communications Director. I'm talking to you from my home studio where I'm spending a lot of time campaigning. Was in the White House for 11 days. Sometimes I choose to say 954,000 seconds. It makes me feel better. But let's get on to you. I want you to go and pledge that you're going to vote at telethonofamerica.com, and you'll get a chance to win a Zoom call with one of the celebrities that are supporting this great cause. Go look at the website, check everything out over there. Get out and vote. Vote your conscience. I'm certainly voting my conscience. I'm not going to tell you how to vote. I'm just going to tell you that we have this wonderful democracy that I have a tremendous amount of faith in. And if you go out and vote, that the democracy won't be disrupted. So God bless. Wishing you the best.
Amazing. We had the mooch right there, and we had Carol Baskin brought to life in dramatic fashion by Louis Anderson. Unreal. And Alicia Keys, my God, great to have Alicia Keys on the show. And now I would like to bring up live for our final stand-up performance. We are in the home stretch of the show. We'll be wrapping this thing down pretty soon, but I'm very excited and honored to bring on a dear friend of mine. Not only is she one of the writers of the Telethon for America this year, but also you might have seen her amazing special on Netflix called They Ready. She's one of the amazing comedians on that. Please give a warm welcome to Ida Rodriguez, everybody. Welcome.
Ooh, what's up? This is weird. Hi, Rosario. It's like two Puerto Ricans on deck. How you doing? Good. I'm Puerto Rican, so I came to integrate the show. Somebody, you guys really love flavor. I know you guys. I know we saw a bunch of white guys, but I came here to represent my people. I'm Puerto Rican, you know, which means I'm a Mexican with papers. So I know, so low common denominator. I actually came here because I wanted to see celebrities fail again this year. Let's see them mess it up one more time right before the election. I think people were gonna vote for Democrats until they saw that video of naked people, and it was like, "That's all right. We're gonna do Trump 4 more years." I know nobody who was in that video's left, so I can say that. I'm at the end. I am in the proverbial back of the bus. They put me. They know where to put me because they know what could come out of my mouth. My stepfather's Cuban. Listen, and my stepfather's Cuban, and he is nervous right now. I need you to show up and vote so the twitching can stop.
Freaking like me, Mira.
Yes,
we all confused.
Yes, listen. I fight myself in my sleep. Puerto Rican and Dominican and Cuban. Amazing what happens in my home. I just took a little break. I came here. I started to think about my life because I'm Puerto Rican, Dominican. My stepfather's Cuban. So that means I'm a little bit Commonwealth, a little bit third world, sprinkled with a little political asylum. So to American people who are very entitled, I'm just letting you know, you better show up and vote. Show up and vote. I'm stopping in the middle of the set and say, show up and vote or shut up on social media.
Yep.
On social media. And you can't even post about cheesecake without Hillary Clinton getting blamed for it. So I need you to show up and vote.
Thanks, Obama.
Yes. Obama hit that 3-pointer today. Did you see that? And then he said, "That's what I do." And then Donald Trump ate a Big Mac and said, "That's what I do." It was just what America is right now.
Let's hope it was impossible meat.
It was impossible meat. His meat is impossible. Can I say that here?
You did.
I know. I love to see the men freak out when they see a woman do stand up, especially like a woman of color. They're like, oh, because men can do whatever they want. They'll get on stage. They'll talk about their penis and how their penis made a right. And then people will be like, he's a genius. And then a woman says something off color and everybody freaks out. Let me just tell you, all of the off color stuff is going to come out of my mouth because, I mean, I let somebody walk out of my vagina and talk back to me. Do you understand what that is? Horrible. I have this girl at home that I call my daughter that looked me in my eye and told me that she hated me. And I said, I'm so glad you said it first. You too, bitch. You are mediocre and entitled, and that's not a good combination. It's a mess. You know what's funny is my mom's Puerto Rican and she's really crazy. I could never ever say I hate you to my mother. She would have drop kicked me in my throat. And I would have looked like the lady in the smoking commercial. I would have been like, I talk back to my mother. Smoke cigarettes. Don't talk back to Puerto Rican mothers. Really awful. I do my colorism joke everywhere I go. It's my favorite joke because I grew up in a black and brown neighborhood, and an African American black girl said to me, "You think you cute because you light skin and got good hair?" And I was like, "I'm light skinned and I got good hair?" I was like, "I'm rolling with these bitches." She said, "If we were in slavery, you'd be in the house." And I was like, "If we were in slavery, we'd be in slavery. Because my location mattered." Right? I'd rather be out in the field with LeBron James than in the house getting fondled by the Quaker Oats man. I like the cringe. The cringe makes me happy. I just feel like you got to offend everybody. I know that in this event, I'm supposed to be politically correct, and that's when I aim for not being politically correct. But it's very hard doing stand-up right now because everybody's so fragile. Everybody's feelings get hurt. Everybody wants to cancel you. I was doing a comedy show and this blind guy kept heckling me and I just kept avoiding him because I was like, I'm not making fun of a blind dude. I'm not getting canceled. I'm just getting started. All right. And then after the show, he came up to me and he said, you know what, Ida, I was very, very offended by you because you said you're about diversity and inclusion. You saw me. I kept talking to you and you would not acknowledge me. You didn't make fun of me. So I wrote a joke about blind people. And I'm going to end on this. So I don't know if you know, but 7 blind people climbed Mount Everest. And I want to know what they did when they got up there.
I want to know how he saw that you saw him.
I know. And you know, like, did he inhale deeply? And how did he know that they got up there, right? That's what I want to know. Because if I was the tour guide, I'd take them up Runyon Canyon and I'd be like, we made it, guys. We made it. I'm going to hell now. Hi, Adam. I see my friend Adam McKay. You know, it's funny. Those are the white guys that I like, the ones that got good credit and great eyebrows. So holla at me, Adam. I'm not dating any more Puerto Ricans. I'm tired of the struggle. Anyway, I just want to remind you to vote for DC to become a state. And Puerto Rico, my heart is with you. You are more than a state. You are a great nation. And I'm going to always shout out my country no matter where I am. Vote! Vote or you can't complain. Thank you. Bye.
Yeah, fantastic.
Stop, Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Ida Rodriguez, everybody. Ida Rodriguez.
Yeah. That was dope.
That was dope, right?
She's dope.
Mm-hmm.
I hear there's someone pretty amazing that we should be calling in to talk to right now. Rochelle Alton?
Rochelle Alston. We are
Alston.
bringing in somebody from our lucky one-on-one video rooms like we promised up top. I hear you're a very lovely person. So please turn your camera on and your mic on and join us, Rochelle.
Hi, my mic is on, but there we go.
There you go. Hi, Rochelle.
Wasn't ready for camera. Hi.
How you doing?
Hi. I'm well. How are you?
Pretty darn good. Tell us about your experience tonight a little bit.
Oh my gosh, what a pleasure to just be involved in this and, you know, rocking the vote and getting everyone out there. And if you're undecided, whichever way you want to go, just get out there because your voice matters. It's not just the presidential election we're doing, it's city and state, and those are just as important. So get out there. Good job.
What has been your voting plan?
I'm in Washington State, so I did mail-in voting. So I've already got that dropped off.
And are you living currently? I'd like to ask everybody.
I'm living well. my COVID life.
COVID life. Yeah, so it's barely living, but still technically we are alive.
Right.
Love that. Okay. Well, thank you so much. Tell us who you spoke with today in your private video chat.
Oh, I spoke with Monica Lewinsky, and it was amazing.
Yeah, that is cool.
What an honor.
How'd your chat go? What would you talk about?
So she had done her undergrad in college in Oregon, and so we talked about the Pacific Northwest.
Hold on, there's a lot of talking here, so we can't hear you. Say that one more time. Say that one more time.
We just talked about her time in the Pacific Northwest and just climate change and polling. It was an incredible conversation that I'm going to remember for a long time. So thank you.
That's amazing. We are so happy to hear that. Thank you for being here, Rochelle.
Thank you.
And we are now going to throw it, Rosario, if it's cool with you, to our final it's the final batch of videos, right, guys? It's our final selection of entertainers that would like to say a few words to you, and then we have our very special video message from Craig Robinson, and we will say goodnight. So please, without further ado, a message from Orlando Bloom, Rhett and Link, and the winner of America's Got Talent, doing a trick live from Las Vegas, Shin Lim. Starting with Orlando Bloom, let's take it away.
Hey, I'd like to encourage everyone to vote tomorrow. I'm not able to vote as I'm not an American citizen as yet, but I am the proud parent of 2 American children, and this year we vote for our future and the future generations. Because climate change is real. It affects us all. Scientists believe that if nothing is done, climate change could be irreversible by 2030, with 1 million species being at risk of extinction because of climate change. But if we act now, and by that I mean vote now, we can, with leaders who trust in the science, cut our carbon emissions in half and reverse the effects of climate change. So please, make sure you're registered. Verify your polling place, and tomorrow you can do your part to literally save the planet. Thank you.
Hey guys, it's Rhett and Link from Good Mythical Morning. We got some facts we want to share with you. If you were to remove all of your intestines and stretch them as far as possible, it would really hurt. That's the wrong list. Oh yeah, this is my list of things I don't want to forget. This is the correct list. African Americans and white people use drugs at similar rates, but the imprisonment rate of African Americans for drug charges is almost 6 times that of white people. On average, black men in the U.S. receive sentences that are 19.1% longer than those of white men convicted for the same crimes. And black women are 3 to 4 times more likely to experience a pregnancy-related death than white women, even at similar levels of income and education. I could go on. Yeah, there was a time in our lives when we would have said that racism and systemic injustice was a thing of the past, and that was a very popular perspective where we grew up, but the facts tell a different story. Yeah, we love America, and that's why we think it's important to just be honest about the fact that it is still a place where people of color are not afforded the same opportunities and advantages that we are. Yeah, and that reality is informing our vote in 2020, and we want to encourage you to take that into account as you vote tomorrow.
Hey friends, Steve Hofstetter here. I want to use my time to
Thank you guys so much again. My name is Shinlin. Please go and vote. Stay safe, stay strong.
That was a pretty damn cool trick, if you ask me. Holy moly. Also, my apologies to Steve Hofstetter, whose clip was cut off there. That's because I accidentally took his joke earlier when I was having a conversation about Steve. Just bring Steve on for 1 second. We were having a conversation about third parties and ranked choice voting, and Steve texted me during that. He's like, use my joke if you want about third parties, and I did it. And then he said, I said, let me do my joke. And so I stole your joke, Steve. And I told him to edit it out of the show. And he did it out poorly. And I looked very stupid in every possible way. I'm very sorry, my friend.
I appreciate that. I gotta say, I did deliver it much better.
Believe you.
And I'm not even drunk like somebody. You know what I'm saying? Oh, hey, Doug. Great to see you again, my friend. Please don't use the F-bomb. The show's ending. Please don't use the F-bomb. Just don't F-bomb us right now. We're keeping you on mute. There you are. Anyway, you look great, Doug. For being pretty bombed right now, you look fantastic. It's great to have both of you here. Very nice that you took time to be with us. Oh, Doug, any last words?
Unmuted or muted?
You're unmuted now, but please,
Okay.
you know.
Oh, I was just, but
my chat has been way better than any time you've come to me. Sorry, my dog's jumping on me. Yeah, I just chatted. I've never been a lot. What?
Where's Steve?
I'm being censored by my own friends. I was just saying that every election that I've ever lived through has been the most important election of your life. And I just want to congratulate elections for always one-upping themselves. Always being the best.
That is a fact, and it's because it somehow keeps being true. So that means we got to take it very seriously, and we have to make sure that we do not take for granted our right to vote. It is very, very important. And I think then, Rosario, it might be time for...
Wait, Ben, before we wrap, could I just say something real quick about people who are unsure of if they like a candidate or not?
Sure.
I'm from New York City, big Mets fan, huge Mets fan. So I hate the Braves. Hate the Braves. If the Braves were ever in the World Series against ISIS, go Braves. You know what I'm saying? As you put the hat.
Whatever side of the political spectrum you're on, the other side is it could be your own personal ISIS. I understand your nonpartisan point, and I get it.
Totally nonpartisan.
Totally appreciate that. Thank you very much, Dean. Thank you for being here. Rosario, we have reached that time. We have just our special video from Craig Robinson left. How do you feel so far? Any reflections on the night?
I think it's been amazing. I love how ready everybody was when we randomly called them at times to kind of just step in. There was no fluster or bluster. People were just like right there and right on it because democracy is important and representing the Republic is something we always got to be ready for. And it was really beautiful to see everyone step up to the plate. I'm grateful for everyone who's tuned in with us. I'm especially grateful for everyone who stayed with us because we do have a really, really special, heartwarming, just really deeply personal message from Craig Robinson that I'm really glad that we saved to the end. It's it's something to sink your teeth into, everyone, and he put a lot of heart into this.
Take it away, Craig.
Vote.
Ooh, wow. Wow. Bravo, I would say.
I don't think I could have said it any better.
How did he put it so beautifully and so succinctly? I don't know.
I should have conferred with him to talk about any of the stuff that I wanted to say so I could just get it said so powerfully.
Yeah, somehow there was a lot of talk tonight, and nobody kind of covered it in the way that he did. He just kind of summarized the evening.
I just want to say thank you so much, Ben, for letting me be a part of this. I got to contribute a tiny little video. Nothing as profound and powerful as what Craig just shared with us. But I got to contribute a video that lasts midterms, and now you allowed me, because Olivia was working, host with you this year, and it was just a huge honor, and you're the man, and I hope you were really happy with this because you did a kick-ass job. You rock.
Thank
you. Thank you, Ben. Hey! Ben.
Thank you, guys. Those words, Rosario, so much. It's truly an honor to have you here. And I think it's a combination of the fact that Olivia was working and didn't reply to my DMs. And who knew how lucky we would get to get the incredible Rosario Dawson to join. You're a person who speaks your heart, and you use your influence and your reach for the betterment of our world, and you work so hard at it, and you do it with such charm and grace, and it's a real pleasure and honor of my life to have you here. Much more of an honor than when I did it with Olivia Munn, like 1,000 times more.
Literally saying that just because she's not here.
Correct.
But she did contribute a video. So we'll see what happens next year. We got an election 2 more years from now. It's going to be on.
Yes,
maybe it'll just be her and me.
You're breaking up. I'm so sorry. You're breaking up. I think you're muted. Thank you for being here. Thank you to all of our amazing celebrities and influencers and public figures that took the time to be with us today. But most importantly, thank you to every single person across the country that tuned into this, that wanted to learn a little bit about the stakes of tomorrow's election, and just to learn about how to not be turned away at the polls, how to not have your vote suppressed, and how to use your voice, one most important, powerful thing we have in this country, to shape the future. So I pray, I hope, I don't even believe in things that I pray to, and I still pray that you turn out tomorrow and try to create the future that you want. Whatever side you're on, just make a choice. This
Well
has been
said.
Telethon for America. Thank you, Rosario. Thank you to represent us.
Thank you, Ben. Thank you, represent us.
Bye. Good night.
Don't let your silence ring louder than your boo.
Voting, everybody.
I gotta outlast.
Ha 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 ha!